Why?
Like, just hitting that go live button is always difficult. I don't know why. Just never wants to do it. And then if I don't get it like to work, I have to go back and like re-hit the whole thing, which I don't want to do.
So Restream doesn't just hook it up to it? Hook up to
No,
it?
it does everything but, and I think we're on TikTok. It does everything but Instagram. So Instagram is the only one it
Mm.
doesn't. So, but I do believe, let me double check, but I do believe we're live everywhere now. So, because I'm using my not my desktop and the phone and the Mac and the iPad, everything does look very different than what it normally looks like for me. So, but I know we're live on Instagram, so I'm assuming we're live on TikTok and we're live on, yep, we're live on Facebook. I can see us. And what I need to figure out to do is get the chat on for us. Um, Hey, Karen said, "Oh, y'all are missing the Oklahoma tornadoes." I don't miss the Oklahoma tornadoes at all, man. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So, all right, but stay safe in
So
Oklahoma.
that
Because I did
so that
see
big
that.
tornado that I saw is happening in Oklahoma?
Well, I haven't seen any weather, but I do know tornadoes are pretty bad right now in Oklahoma. Um. So, and how am I? So here's, yes, we are doing the first ever podcast from my bed. Um, I feel better. I am, and thank you for asking, Karen. I no, as far as like meds, no, I did not have flu A, flu B, or COVID. I had the human metapneumovirus. I don't know. I don't know how the symbols go, but it's a cousin to RSV. So those meds that you were suggesting wouldn't have worked anyway. I came down with it like immediately, like 2 a.m. after we did signals or transmissions in the field. And then went and I got my triple pass ozone infusion and a vitamin IV. And then I have had so much bone broth and turmeric shots. I've lost 10 pounds in 5 days and I'm eating. I think it's for the bone broth. So like if you have a crunch where you need to like lose weight quickly, might I humbly suggest bone broth 3 times a day. Because that seems to have done something. But it's just I'm having trouble restoring my energy. And I'm dizzy. And I started antibiotics yesterday for ear infections. So hopefully they're over soon. But yeah,
Dang.
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Sorry to hear
Enjoyed
that.
that. Mm,
Hey, hi Karen.
human body. So, but we have so much, and I was like, well, we could cancel, we could reschedule, but no, we can't because we have
Why?
so much we have to talk about.
The world's gonna be just as shitty when you get better.
Or we could put a signal in the field tonight that makes it better.
But the transmission of the field is neither good nor bad.
Ah, you're such a jerk.
I was talking about it all week. All week. I even did a podcast, and I was on the podcast and I talked about your transmission in the field. Transmissions in the field.
How did it go? How'd the podcast go?
Growing up Hispanic and growing up with a lot of, let's say, lower class, not lower class, lower middle class white people, transmissions in the field were very common with the broken cars, too. About 3 of them, actually. No, I
You're
used it quite a
funny.
bit. I thought it was great. I mean, it mirrors a lot, it mirrors a lot of other stuff that I heard, so it kind of fell in line, and I like the description of it. If it fits.
Yeah.
Um, but it's similar to like the programming, like you said, and
Yeah.
your neurons in your head being formed and going in one direction
Happy
and
and
opening it.
learning, Heb's Law.
Yeah, all that stuff. So it was just a great way. I thought you beautifully explained it, and I appreciate it. So
Thank
I
you.
shared it to many people, several people, and
Thank you.
well, on the other podcast we got thousands of people. So yeah, too bad I didn't have your give you a shout out. Have you started those
That's good.
classes?
No, Chris, I've had the flu.
Oh, but I mean, you're on here. Who knows? You probably say the same thing. I need to get out there and do this transmissions in the
No,
field.
I have not. I just did that one, and then no, I've been. However, I've had the coolest experiences. 'Cause I've kept the patio doors open almost 24/7. I had a hummingbird fly in here a couple times. A couple of
Wow.
other birds fly in here. I had a bunny come in here. I feel like Snow White over here.
Yeah. Did they did
Yeah.
they did they make you a gown and send you off to the prince's
No.
So I didn't know, and the last time we talked, a lot of stuff happened. Christy Nome is no longer in office, but I didn't
Hmm.
know that hillbilly Mark Wayne Mullen was from Oklahoma.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think he's like he's like the dumbest fuckest person on this planet. And then when I found out it was Oklahoma, I was like, oh no, no.
Of course, yeah. So
Now that I have a
that's
connection with your Oklahomans, I don't want. I just was like, no, no, it
oh,
can't
trust me,
be.
we don't claim him. We don't like him. But there's so much going on. We'll just start with him though. And I will point out the obvious and not a doctor, not allowed to diagnose, but I guarantee you that man has post-concussive syndrome. He has aphasia, he has impulse control, he has the hyperactivity, and he also has confabulation. So,
You see that too, Chris? You know,
no,
um, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical intuitive. I would call that just being a dumb fuck. He is just
I'm
a
not.
dumb fuck.
Well, he's a former MMA fighter turned plumber turned senator turned now head of Homeland Security. Well, once confirmation happens, if it happens.
But I know, and not having a degree doesn't mean you're stupid. Not being a plumber means you're stupid. None of that stuff makes you
Oh,
stupid. It's what he
no.
does that makes him
Correct.
stupid, and just
Correct.
getting in fights and just this, like you said, this confabulation and
Hmm.
enamoration with the felon is just
Hmm.
beyond a joke.
Right.
And
Yeah,
he's
it
even
is.
worse than Christy Nome.
He is. He is. I mean, I've put out a couple of videos about him and his moment. Give me a joke, and I agree he's just an idiot, but I do see the patterns of the post concussive syndrome, and they do match his history of being an MMA fighter. By the way, I mean this man was an MMA fighter, and he also played high school football. So you already have two independent things that could back up him having, and that doesn't excuse it at all. It actually makes him more dangerous because it's not just stupidity; it's actual damage to the brain backed up with stupidity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
So I
Trump.
mean, you have yeah, it's
It's like
exactly,
he has he
exactly
has
like Trump.
he has dementia, frontal temporal
Yep.
dementia,
Hmm.
and but it doesn't help that he's a malignant narcissist and a fucking idiot to
Correct.
boot. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. Yes. You already had narcissism, you already had, deviance, you already had all of that, and now you have dementia on top of it. And so it's like it just and then they recognize each other, you know. They recognize each other. And so Mark Wayne Mullen is terrifying. And his, lack of impulse control, his lack of was blind obedience. And I did a little research once. I found out his I mean, his nomination should not have come as a surprise to anyone once you did the research, but I had not done the research on him, so I did not realize what happened. But he was the one carrying water for Trump and carrying water for Hegseth. He did an entire thing at Hegseth's confirmation where not only did he like asking the appropriate questions, but he had him like compliment his wife. Tell me what you love about your wife. How is it appropriate at a confirmation hearing for someone who's going to be the Secretary of Defense?
Yeah, that is weird.
And tell me how you feel about your wife. Because I'm trying to help you out here, man. And then Hegseth started talking about, oh yeah, my wife, she's whatever, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's whatever. And they were talking about, the alcoholism. And his response to that was, everyone shows up at the Capitol drunk to vote, you
Oh, I
know?
heard that one. I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he said, and then there's an interview where Hegseth says, that 10 a.m. he was going for beers. Afternoon he was going for beers. Nobody told him he couldn't have the beers because he had earned it. And he said that's how he self-medicated. And Mark Wayne said, well, that doesn't mean he admitted to having a drinking problem. That just means he was being honest. Dude, honest about having a drinking problem.
Yeah, right.
You know, I
Well,
mean,
that's
the
what they say
stupid
about the felon.
burns.
He's not stealing anything. He's totally honest. He's totally being upfront about stealing stuff.
Right. And so with that, you saw he was the one that was really carrying water for Hegseth. And then he did this big thing at the end. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was because the brain fog, this post flu bug is not necessarily the best. But he did this thing at the end where he was like saying, you have someone who, has served and has done this and this and this, and like was almost expecting some kind of applause
Yeah.
at the end. And then you tell me he's not qualified. Give me a joke. And like the whole thing's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. So that was surprising, with to see. And then Mark Wayne Mullen also was someone who was very, very pro Trump. He was, and he was part of the, he was one guy hiding, by the way, in January 6th.
Yeah, I saw that picture too.
Yeah, but then the Teamster guy, he threatened him to a fight. You get your butt up. You get your butt up. And he goes on this whole thing and he said, boys will be boys. And then
Yep.
he starts talking like adoringly about the history of of Congress and duels. And he talked about it, was it Andrew Jackson's duels, like 8 duels, and all these duels that had taken place. And he even took reporters to this area on the steps where someone got mad at the media, where a congressman got mad at a member of the media, at a reporter, and killed him. And the blood is still stained on the steps.
Yeah, they like that kind
So,
of stuff. That's why we're
mhm,
in Iraq right now. Yep.
I think we're in Iran.
Oh, Iran. Same thing. Same thing.
But no, so like this guy has been carrying water for them like the whole time. And it's like, oh well, no wonder this is his payment, right? But what I hope that Christine Nome gets out of this, if nothing else, is she carried water for the fucking patriarchy and it did not benefit her at all. And whatever.
Right. Right.
They're not loyal to her. Even with her Mar-a-Lago, how do you say that? Mar-a-Lago.
Moron Lago.
Right, with the 'cause they talk about, like, the Stepford Wives, right? How the women that go through there have to all the plastic surgery and change their look and everything.
Yeah, they're just called Floridians, women from Florida.
Mm. So, anyway, it was very interesting to see, um, all of the evidence come out. What evidence? Just the history of how Mark Wayne Mullen has been carrying water and just threatening people, you know?
I think he's discussing he was on, I don't know if you saw this, he was talking about Mark Wayne Mullen was talking about the smell of war.
Yes,
War,
he
the way
did.
it smells, the way it
Uh-huh.
tastes, and you'll never forget it. I mean, he's never been in a war at all. But the biggest
Yep.
joke about it all is, so I used to be on the radio, and my radio name was Chris Allen because radio disc jockeys always have 2 first names in their name. Joe Bob or the whitest motherfuckers on earth have the same first and last name. Joe Bob, Billy Joe. And like he just falls right in that with Mark Wayne. I don't know what I'm gonna call him, so I'm just gonna name them both of the brothers. I was like, come on.
Oh, how funny.
Are they both his daddies too?
Yeah. He he's a Christian nationalist, lots of kids. And he did talk about, he thanked Hegseth's wife for forgiving him for adultery publicly. Yeah.
Why? What does that mean? What would Hegseth's wife have to do anything with about his adultery?
That she forgave him. Mark Wayne Mullen thanked Hegseth's wife for
Is she a
forgiving
priest? I guess that's
him.
what I'm asking. Is she a priestess, or is she somebody like who can give that kind of forgiveness?
Well, I mean, it was part of the confirmation, right? He's courageous, she's courageous. They're so in for this country that they're willing to sit here and take your insults. He admitted he made a mistake. He's a human. She forgave him. And by the way, thank you for forgiving him. Thank you for forgiving him. Mhm.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
That's odd. No, I just don't understand. So, like, I grew up Catholic, so priests are the ones that are supposed to absolve your sins. So now, like, this woman can just, and I don't mean like woman, I mean the wife of Hegseth can just forgive sins now.
Yeah.
She's
Well, I mean,
ordained to
his
do
sins.
that.
His sins.
Does he have to pay for
His
that?
Oh, I'm sure he pays for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he pays for that. But
Oh,
he did. I mean, it was theatrical. It was bullshit. But I'm just saying, it's just right in alignment with everything about this administration. But I want to segue into Hegseth.
okay.
We talked about Mark Wayne. No, let's segue for a minute. 'Cause, there's so much happening. Because I have had I'm just gonna call it the benefit of being sick for the last week. I have done really nothing but go through hundreds of hours of interviews, of videos, of people, of all of these people, right? Going back to 2000, some as old as 2012, 2007. And, just one rabbit hole would lead me to another rabbit hole, would lead me to another rabbit hole. And I found this interview that Hegseth did in Israel. I was, I
Hmm.
believe, in 2018. And his demeanor was different. The way he spoke was different. And he was at a hotel, I believe, called the King David Hotel. And he was saying thank you to Israel and those that brought him there for showing him the truth. Did I lose you? Where'd you go? There you are. For showing him the truth. And so I think part of his indoctrination, whatever happened in 2018, because it was right around that time, you know, he started having a lot of changes in his behavior and his alliances and his allegiances. Um, I actually have the video. It's on my phone, not my computer, but of the things that he said, and it was very clear that that was the moment he was getting indoctrinated really into the U.S. Israeli alliance to the extent to where it is now that we're moving into Iran. And he made some comments that were very interesting that then fed into, and I didn't realize this either, that Mark Levin came out and said, and a couple years ago, that a conservative voice, that Trump was our first Jewish president. And
Hmm.
Trump goes, "That's right." And have you seen that interview?
No.
Let me just hold on.
Ex-
You talk for a
except
minute and I'll find it.
except Trump is anti-Semitic. He's anti-Jew.
No, no. Let me find it. You entertain people for a minute and I'll find it.
Entertain
Okay?
people.
You entertain people for a minute and I'll find it.
What the hell am I supposed to entertain? Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Wayne Mullen. Oh, she actually left. I wasn't expecting that.
No, I'm here. I'm just looking for it. I'm here. I'm just looking for it.
Well, you can look at it while you're entertain people. Dance, monkey, dance.
Okay, that is not what I meant. But okay, fine. I'll look. But I have two screens. But let me find it. Hold on. But last time I accidentally showed part of my screen I didn't mean to show, so I don't want to do that again.
Oh, so the to what you're saying though, the one thing that I heard that was actually funny was not that Trump was the first Jewish president. It was that Netanyahu is the worst U.S. president. So I heard it flipped.
Nope, you got to see this. I'm gonna show you. But evidently, I'm
Karen
just gonna
says, yeah, she
struggle to
saw
find
it.
it. Yep. Okay. So let me figure out how to do the share a screen thing, which we all know is not my strength. Okay, allow. We go. Okay, can we see
Sorry, I
this?
didn't entertain anyone.
You were entertaining enough. Okay, Can we see it? You can see
Yeah,
it?
go ahead.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, as if I know where that screen went.
President.
Can you hear
Now
it?
he's the first Jewish president to serve
Yes.
two not consecutive presidencies. We thank you for everything. And he loves Israel too.
It's true. I also recognize the Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. And that's one they didn't even ask me. Even Sheldon, who was the most aggressive human being there is in the entire world, he never even asked me about the Golan Heights because he said that's a step too far. I actually gave it because I heard so much about Golan Heights, Golan Heights. And I actually asked David Friedman, I see he is so Israel oriented. I mean, he's great. I said, David, tell me about Golan Heights in 5 minutes or less. You know, I'm taking in like 1,000 years of history in 5 minutes. I said, give it to me in 5 minutes or less. And after about 2 minutes, I said, I understand. But I learned enough,
God.
and I signed
Yeah.
the Golan Heights, the rights to the Golan Heights over to Israel. Nobody thought that was possible to get. They've been working on it for 70 years, and nobody ever did anything. But I did it, and we did it quickly. And I say, good luck to you. Then I found out the value of it, trillions of dollars. It could be worth, if you think, trillions of dollars. I said, you know, maybe I should have asked him for something.
I admit to not knowing enough about Golan Heights. In the international community, it is commonly accepted as Israeli-occupied Syrian territory. The United Nations has operated a demilitarized zone of separation for many years. The United Nations, along with most of the rest of the world, does not recognize Trump's gift of the Golan Heights to Israel in 2019. Asked for 1,000 years of history in 5 minutes, and after 2 minutes just said, okay, you can have it, and issued a presidential proclamation saying, hey, I'm giving Golan Heights to these guys. Okay, so I was unaware that that had happened, and that is where Trump just decided that he was going to give away land that wasn't his through presidential proclamation or through decree to Israel, but it wasn't his to give. And
Right.
that's what caused part of the friction now with the United Nations because they say you can't do that, right? Okay. But then go back, and that's why he started the Board of Peace,
Hmm.
was because the United Nations is telling him you can't give away this land, right? But it gets even, but wait, there's more, because guess who's, and the whole video is like, you know, an hour long, and I just wanted to show that little clip. But he talks about his son-in-law um being so helpful and instrumental in getting this deal done over
Mm-hmm.
there. And you remember the whole peace through prosperity plan? Israel has renamed part of the Golan Heights Trump Heights, but will be
Ah.
a luxury ski resort. Yeah.
Oh, it's so stupid.
And so that's why Syria is, because Syria controls Golan Heights.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Trump decided that, I mean, he said, give me 1,000 years of history in 5 minutes. After 2 minutes, he said, okay, I've heard enough. I've heard enough. I'm just going to go ahead and sign it over to you. It
Yeah.
wasn't his to sign, right? And then in exchange for that, Israel then says, okay, we're going to give you part of the Golan Heights, and it will be Trump Heights, and you can build your luxury ski resorts and your spas here. And how much did he say it was worth? Trillions and trillions of dollars.
Hmm.
So going back, that was a Trump hosts Hanukkah celebrations at the White House, and I went through several of them, and in every single one of the ones that I did see, he claims that he is the first Jewish president of the United States.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
claims a lot of stuff.
right. Well, you know,
He's a
we are
nut
in
job.
we are in Iran because of Israel. Project Esther is Israel, right?
I hear all this stuff. My belief, and I want to get because I want to hear more about what you're saying, but I want to say this, that I think all of that, I don't believe in all of that stuff. I think there's truth in it. It's not like I don't think it's not real. But the reason why we went into Iran is because the Ayatollah had it out for Trump. He wanted Trump dead. We went in there because Trump wanted to use our army and our military to kill that guy. And he did. That's why he thinks everything's done. Like, oh, yeah, everything's done because I got what I want. Now everyone else can, yeah, whatever, That's why we went in there. That's because that's all he's been talking about. I got him before he got me. Yeah, no, your military got him before he. Even today, who was it? Oh, Witkoff. Witkoff even said the same thing. The President Trump, the Ayatollah was coming after him, and it was up to Trump to save himself and get him first. It's all about that. Everyone's been saying it.
I think that's a smoke and mirrors, and I think it's really about this.
Netanyahu just jumped on the bandwagon. Oh, this guy wants the Ayatollah. Sure, let's just go in there and get him.
No, have you read Project Esther yet?
I haven't read Project yet, but there's so many conspiracy theories about this. Everyone's
no,
going in
conspiracy.
5 different. No, but you know what I mean. There's everyone has a say. I'm a, what do you call her, consumer of news, and I've heard so many different things, and the only one that gels with me is what I just said, because it's still being talked about. And the only reason why the president would say our mission is accomplished is because he got what he wanted, and that was the Ayatollah dead.
So
but I want to hear about Project Esther.
Well, and I do agree that he wants to take out his enemies. That's clear. Anyone he deems an enemy, he wants them taken out. Going through, the videos I saw, he would say ABC fake news, NBC fake news, CNN fake. Like, he attacks everyone personally. That is his thing. So do I believe that he wanted the Ayatollah taken out? Absolutely. But when I got in this and I started doing the digging, I saw it was actually a lot deeper, because Iran, is someone who was supporting the Palestinians, right?
Or
And
Hamas.
well, yes, who supports the Palestinians, right? And Project Esther.
I was going to say Hamas treated the Palestinians poorly.
Right. Yes. No, I agree. But I mean, as far as going against Israel, Hamas and Palestinians are not the same. One's a terrorist organization, one's a people.
Right. Exactly.
But what I'm saying is that hold on, let me find my train of thought here, because my brain is so foggy.
You're good. Shut up.
No, you're fine. But Project Esther, okay, a couple things. Project Esther is from the Heritage Foundation. Okay. The Heritage Foundation is big money. Heritage Foundation is big religion. So you big oil, big tech, big pharma, whatever, big religion is really who's calling the shots here. The entire Christian nationalist movement is the Heritage Foundation. Pete Hegseth brought the Christian nationalist pastor Doug Wilson to the Pentagon last month to do the prayer service, right? And they're quoting from, Pete Hegseth is quoting from Project Esther. Project Esther says that the history of the United States and Israel are intricately linked. And I have videos of Trump saying that. And he declared so he took all these rules regarding, anti-Semitism, and that's why they throw that out so often. In everything, they're just going to claim everybody is practicing anti-Semitism, and
they just had a conference today, and they just went after that. All the Republicans, all the maggots went after Tucker Carlson and the other people for being anti-Semitic.
Right.
Which is why I say in all my posts, I fucking hate Israel, but I love the Jewish people.
Well, I like all kinds of people, but it's this. I'm gonna have to just find some of the things, but it's still there. Like the Trump too. Let me see if I can find the one.
So I hear what you're saying, and I would agree with you on that. If you're saying that Pete Hegseth has an agenda, I would agree with that. But do I think Trump can even grasp the concept of what's in Project Esther? No, He's just
No, he's a
a
puppet.
puppet. Yeah. And the only thing
he's a
only
puppet.
thing he wanted to do was get the Ayatollah. Damn be
No, I
anything
think he
else.
was told. I think he was told. He was told to go in by those that control him. And I do think he was also blackmailed that if he didn't, they were going to release more of the Epstein files showing
Mhm.
the things that he did. So there's my file on Mullen. I have a lot of stuff on so all these files now. This is what I've done. So Trump to female reporters, Trump to women in general, stuff on Iran, stuff on Bondi. I have
But
I have
just
files.
while you're looking, Trump has been talking about killing the Ayatollah for years after his first term. He even was mad at Biden because he said if the Ayatollah were to threaten Biden, I would make sure that we went after him. So he was upset that no one got rid of his enemy. He was scared.
He's really in trouble now because now it's like a blood oath to take him out. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard. Well, I mean, I didn't hear it in those terms, but I heard that, Iran was like, okay, yeah, you thought it was bad then. We wait till
Hmm.
now.
Hmm. Yep. Because
And I will
it's
gladly hand them a key, and I'll leave
yep.
the door open for them.
You'll leave the
Shine the
door open for
flashlight
him.
on Moron Lago.
Yep. I hope my computer isn't going to go dead. It may. We're down to 9% battery. That might kick us off, and I might have to get us back on here through the phone. I don't know.
And then I'll have
We'll
to
find
entertain
out.
everybody again.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Well, no, I
can't
think
because
it'll
you're.
close. Yeah, I think I'll have to use my phone to. I don't know where the charger is, so I mean it's
I
plugged in, but it's not plugged in right.
without knowing everything you know about Project Esther, I can see that there are people that are following that agenda. Sure.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. So Project Esther is the Heritage Foundation. And again, it's the big money, right? It's the big money. And it has done two things very well. It has linked the United States and Israel. And Project Esther has all of these criteria, which include, but by the way, everything that ICE has done, Project Esther. Removing anyone who's not, quote, white, Christian, Project Esther. Taking away women's rights, Project Esther. And then it moves into specifically saying that in these phases, if you support not Hamas, the Palestinian people, you cannot have a bank account, you cannot have a job, you cannot have a visa, you are not allowed to congregate, and you are removed from this country for supporting not Hamas, the Palestinian people. If you are known to aid the Palestinian people, you lose all those rights in the United States.
Hmm.
That's why I keep saying you need to read Project Esther. It's not conspiracy theory. This is literally the who is the money
Well,
behind our government.
I see what you're saying. So let me rephrase. It's not conspiracy theory. It's just bullshit. I mean, you can read Mein Kampf and you can see like what they, you know what I mean? It's just all like based on Looney Tunes people.
It
That's
is,
what I
but they're the
mean.
ones controlling the government.
Right.
I mean, you can say it's Looney Tunes, but it's still happening. They're still controlling our government.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to dismiss it as much as I don't consent. Like it's not a
Yeah, I don't
reality.
consent.
It's not a
Right.
reality. It's just
Okay, that's a better
somebody.
answer than
It's
than you
somebody
being like,
just.
that's crazy conspiracy.
Well, it's just somebody making up stuff. It's like the Catholic Church. It's like any of the religions. It's, you know what I mean. It's just, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
what to say about it. It's just I don't consent. Is that the right word? Did
I
we
do
say
not
consent or
consent.
comply?
Yeah, I said consent. You said comply.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I think it's crazy. I just don't, just like whatever.
Yeah, I do not
And those
consent.
people were, and you got to admit, those people were in the government to begin with. I mean, there's always been a faction of that. Ever since, I mean, in my political career, I started with George Bush Sr. And the religious evangelists of these wackos were in the trying to get through the Republican doors. I mean, a lot of
Mhm.
us saw this coming. We didn't want Reagan to let them in, but
Right.
Republicans wanted to win. They sold their soul out to the devil, which happened to be God. And So to me, this has always lived in the Republican Party, and where I grew up. I mean, in Southern California here, especially in Orange County. I mean, you grew up in Oklahoma, so I don't know if it's the same, but it's like MAGA territory and Christianity are linked like that. You know,
Yeah, all 77 counties voted red in Oklahoma. I mean,
so like I grew up with that, and it was you guys are just a bunch of wackos. They're no better than ISIS. You know,
yeah, well, yeah, but you had a county, and I'm from a state. There
right?
was no escaping it. I couldn't go to a county next door where I could have different rights.
Like
You
Los
know,
Angeles, which is totally different.
right? Yeah, you didn't have that. You don't have that in Oklahoma, really. There's a few little blue pockets, but that's it. And so it is very scary. And I was doing some research today for another video on Qatar because everyone's some Oklahoma, um I don't know, Rob Standard or something. He's posting this bullshit about, you just hate Trump so much that you're going to support an Iranian regime where women blah blah blah, and lists all these things that like that would happen. No one is supporting the
Right.
Ayatollah, just like no one was supporting Maduro in Venezuela, right? But we have our own tyrant. It's
Exactly.
like you you cannot make these things either or when they're all bad. You can't say,
Well,
well, if you so whatever. But he was saying that, and so I went to do some research on Qatar, which is under Sharia law, where women have to have a guardian. They don't have rights in any kind of court. Their testimony holds 50% of that of a man. So fuck you, Rob Standard. I mean, come on, like you're sitting
well,
there saying that,
I'll bring up your transmissions in the field. I'll
so I'm
use
getting
that
hot.
language because it's very adequate, appropriate for the situation. I mean, these are people who
Well,
are black and white thinkers, and when you're black and white thinkers, you're
collapsing.
collapsing the field, and that's exactly what they're
Yes.
doing. They're not opening up to reality. They're just going
No.
back into their programming. They're NPCs,
Yep.
NPCs with a
There.
microphone.
They are. They're NPCs with a microphone. That's right. And we need at least a few of them to wake up so that we can, have a different option as we align with the different option. Because that from Mark Wayne Mullen to this stuff, I will send you the video I found on Hegseth. It was very like, oh, there it is. There it is. Like that's where his stuff, because he has the whole Jerusalem cross tattooed on him, and he just got a new tattoo that's like the infidel one, in Arabic. And so, I mean, he's fully drank the Kool-Aid and is now
Yeah,
serving it up to others. That man, out of every, like we talk about people that are scary, Hegseth scares me.
really.
Yeah.
He's a
Like
coward. He's a punk. He beats women. That's how much of a
he does.
he
does.
shoots fishing boats, and he shoots
with
little
people.
he shoots schools with little girls in them and boys.
Yes, he
That
does.
you hear.
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
so he's a coward and he's a punk ass, and he said this is not a fair fight. Yeah, because he's a sucker punch. So
Right. And the United Nations is calling us out now for not following, some of the most basic principles of modern day war, like not targeting children,
yeah,
And that was the thing too. Going back to Iran for a minute, the things that I found was that
I'm sorry you're
I found
scared of
some.
him. That makes total sense because he is a monster. I'd
He
be afraid
is.
of him too.
He reminds me of just all of the male patriarchal
Yeah.
religious leaders of Oklahoma, that they know what's best, and they're not afraid to kill you to prove to you that they're right.
Yep. And that's what
They're
they're
not afraid of
doing.
that. Exactly what they're doing. And I saw or have a video where he's talking about, the moment I promised 100% of your tax dollars would only go towards lethal things, lethality. That man thinks lethal is the sexiest word in the world.
Yep.
Lethal, lethal, lethal. And then the report came out. How much did he spend on fucking lobster last September?
Right.
You know, how many millions and millions of dollars was wasted last September of tax dollars, right? And I mean, lobster's probably not lethal.
Right.
And so you know, the deceit and the lies and everything. But yeah, Hegseth does scare me because he is someone who he is so lost in his own ideology that he would have no trouble taking out a lot of innocent people to prove his point.
Oh yeah.
You
And he's
know,
a
he just
drunk.
reminds me of every yeah, and well, and then cheater evidently.
He reminds me of every guy that I grew up with that are like he and Gavin Newsom are kind of remind me of the same person, except Gavin is a little more in touch with
Polished.
reality. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a little more polished. A little more polished. Yeah. But I will find that interview with Hegseth. It was eye opening for sure. It
Mm.
really was. Where he fully drank the Kool-Aid. And if you go back to his confirmation hearing, that's a different demeanor, different language, different body language, different everything than the guy we have now.
But it was all bullshit because we knew who this guy was. We saw how he was on Fox. I mean, he didn't come out of nowhere. He
Right.
was exactly who he is, and he played a game during this this hearing, like they all do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Federal government doesn't work. Get rid of it.
No, it needs to go. I agree
It
with
needs
you.
to
I always
go.
disagreed with you. I agree with you now. I completely agree with you now. It's bullshit. But yeah, his stuff that scares me. And there was a lot of the Trump videos where because I found multiple where like he's saying oh he's celebrating Hanukkah. He says that's true. I am the first Jewish president. He is talking about all the food being kosher. I found a lot of videos where he says all of that. And he talks a lot about Letnick in them as well. And then
Wow.
he lists names. You know how the State of the Union was just like the names, like awards? That's what a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these dinners are like. He just mentions the names of
Yeah.
everyone inside that's important. And Jared Kushner's name was really important, especially as it related to Golan Heights and Trump Heights. Imagine that, just, you know. Well, I made a joke that okay, so I'm issuing now an Inanna proclamation and I'm giving the White House to California.
You're giving the White House to California?
I
What do
am.
you mean by
Mhm. Oh,
that?
sorry. I mean, he gave away Golan Heights, so why can't I?
You mean you're going to give
I
the
mean, I
White
have
House
just
to California?
yes, yes. Why
Oh,
not? I mean, if he thinks he can give
I
away
thought you meant you're
Golan
going to give
Heights,
California to the White House. I was like, whoa,
no,
whoa,
no, other
whoa.
way. No, he signed, you know, a proclamation, a Trump proclamation giving away Golan Heights, you know, which again, according to the UN, you know, is an Israeli occupied Syrian territory that they have that they are trying to control because it's so hotly contested. And he just signed something giving it away. So I'm going to sign an Inanna proclamation and I'm going to give away the White House and the whole Capitol complex to the state of California.
So I heard
And
this
think of
great
everything we can do with the ballroom.
the ballroom must be the greatest ballroom ever. I heard this great I went to this great seminar last week. It was called Transmissions in the Field. And I do not comply with anything. Like if people want to follow because he signs a little piece of paper and says something, he can. If he can try to take our voting rights away, like let him. Like it's not it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect anybody. We're in California. States run the
Right.
election. Like why are we giving him so much power when he doesn't have any? The only power he has is over the troops, you know. Yeah, and you can say that's scary,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'd rather live in peace than in tyranny. So he can have the army. And if all those little stooges want to follow him, let them. Like it's out of my control.
Who
So
are you?
I refuse to let that reality in because it's not
I
my
love this
reality.
version of you.
What are you talking about? I've always said it like this. I just haven't had the words to say it. I'm using your language.
When we first met, you were ready to die on a hill, man.
Oh, I'm ready to die on a hill for my freedom and for the freedom of my brothers and sisters. I'm ready to do that. I mean, how did I change on that?
Right.
I'm ready to if Trump was in front of me, I would try to take him down. And I would probably be killed, but I would try to take him down. Without
I think the witches got that.
The minions around him, yeah, I would definitely try to do that. He's not even worth my spit. So yeah, I'm ready to die on the hill. I don't know what's changed, except for just how I'm talking.
A lot. But side note,
The words I'm using.
One of the videos. I'm not gonna say the details, but we know that a lot of people report that he has issues with bowel incontinence.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people report it, right?
Yeah.
And
even from
see
his days on
evidence
the
of it
I mean, it was talked
on
about
The
during
Apprentice.
The Apprentice, right?
I watched a video in my many hundreds of hours of deep dives of what happened to him to cause that.
Adderall, right?
No,
Oh, you're talking about that story of that one woman where she did him. How she kicked
I
a
thought it was a
rod.
guy. Oh, I thought it was a guy, but yeah, I guess it was a girl. Yeah,
Yeah, somebody kicked a spike
yeah,
or something up his.
a tent stake during an Epstein type event.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, and it had to be evac out.
Tent stake intense. You didn't? Did you get? Sorry, I was trying to make a
I got
joke.
it. I got it. I'm sorry. Listen, I just told you brain fog. I'm slow on the uptake. But going to the big things were, and I do want to send you that video on Hexa. It was like all the
Well, wait.
pieces were just like patterns.
You got to explain it
What?
in your better way to our watchers about the tent stake.
Our watchers,
our viewers.
There was a transfer of power in that moment.
Yes, there was.
With
that was their
karmic
intent.
consequences. That was their intent. Yes.
But I think, does everyone out there
intent?
So what happened was during this intimate. See, that's why I wanted Inanna to say this, because she's a lot more diplomatic and better, well spoken than I am, and that is there was a. So I might be thinking about it wrong. So let me know if I am. But I heard there was a sexual encounter.
Yes, and non-consensual.
Non-consensual. One of his partners were pissed and took a tent pole or whatever, like you said. I thought it was a stake, and shoved it up his ass, and then kicked it, causing yeah.
It was an Epstein type of encounter. It was a non-consensual Epstein type of encounter, and it left him needing to be evac'd. And that is the problem with the bowel incontinence.
I don't care if it's not true.
Watched an interview
It's
with
a
the
good
person who
story.
did it.
Yeah.
I watched an interview with the person that claimed they did it. After being, and the reports of, is it Katie Johnson, the report that came out of of being where she was sexually hurt by him when she was 15 and 16 years old. She gave details, and she bit him, and he hit her in the head multiple times. That came out as well. Multiple new not just accusations, but where the FBI was hiding. Court filings and reports have all come out. And I wanted to I'm going to share a video. I shared it once, but I'm going to share it again from a woman who I thought this was great on her behalf. It's called I Am Nikki Free. And in this video, she talks about this slavery and they would call it like the slave block, where they would go and actually sell human beings, right? And when they would list the advertisement, it would say, the name and the age, and then whether this person was known for being a quote field hand or kitchen help, or good. I went through a bunch of them today, like good ironer, or field, or but fancy girl. Fancy girl was the one that meant this was the one that you could have your way with sexually.
Oh.
And so then it would also list if, and they were usually the lighter skinned slaves that had more value. And that would let the men know who were buying these younger girls what they could expect.
All under Christianity.
Yes. And the video actually, she's like, wasn't illegal because it wasn't a crime. It was totally legal.
Yeah.
And then of course I found the reports and the ads in the papers where, when someone got away, they were offering the award to get them back and so forth. But it reminded me of the Calendar Girls part of the Epstein files
Oh, yeah. Yes.
because it's the same thing where they would go in and
Yep.
inspect the nude young girls, measure them, inspect them, violate them, and determine what type of monetary value those bodies had. Yep. So the lady, I am Nikki Free, is like, she's like, look, this isn't new. And of course we knew it wasn't new, but she just gave it a different wording that landed better, I think. And she had some of the bills of, sale for them. And she's like, Epstein just, made it modern day. You know, you could
Yeah.
go and buy young girls like this, going all young boys,
Well,
going all
yeah,
the way
it's
back,
it's
and it was
it's
perfectly
happening.
acceptable.
It's happening right now. I mean, as we speak,
Hmm.
it's happening. I
Hmm.
mean, look at those two yeah, I don't even want to get into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sad. What sucks is, so I did a video, I posted a video about the undignified transfer of the soldiers that were killed in Iran,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how Fox covered up the fact that he was wearing a hat. And that's not what I want to get into. What I want to get into is the comments that were said to me, and that was, presidents don't have to take off their hat. The military officers had their hat on too. And I was very thankful because normally this doesn't happen, but usually I'm alone in fighting these people. But I don't know what's going on lately. I have a lot of people, not really coming to my aid, but giving their thoughts, and I appreciate it. But maggots have no concept about humanity, and there's no rule that says that the Trump had to take off his hat. There's no rule.
Right.
Military officers have a rule because it's the uniform code, and their hat is part of their uniform, and it's respectful to salute
That's right.
the remains of your fallen soldiers,
Right.
fallen brothers. But the felon is a draft dodger, and he's not
Hmm.
in uniform, and he's wearing a baseball cap that was made in China. And this is where I want to get to. A lot of people said it's just common human decency to show
Decency.
respect by taking off your hat. And if you just don't even know that, that they don't even know that. So treating women like you just said is, you know what I mean? It's
That's right,
just,
Karen.
oh,
Yeah, Karen
right.
said
It's
it's
not
not
just
just a hat, it's merch. Yeah.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
selling them for $40,
Oh,
50, 49.
sorry. Just remember that thing. Oh my
Okay.
God, Mark Wayne Mullen. Let's go back. Let's go
Okay.
back. That mofo, all of his.
Okay, I'm back.
You're so funny. Oh, wait. You know how hard it is to sit in bed and do this?
Yeah, I'm watching
It's
you.
actually very difficult. I
You
keep
keep on
sliding
scooting down,
down.
like, yeah, you're
I
pretty
know.
good.
I keep sliding down. Like it's not even okay, but I'm making the best of it. Okay. So, side note on the show Yellowstone, which I like, but pissed me off. And 1923, if I ever happen to run in a Taylor Sheridan anywhere, I'm kicking him in the fucking shins because I'm not over 1923. I will never be over 1923. That was not necessary. Side note. Okay, but go back to the present Yellowstone.
I haven't seen the
And my
second
dog is named
season.
Little Rip Wheeler.
Hmm.
But in that episode, or in Yellowstone, Kevin Costner runs for governor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, this is where progress stops. He's like old school. And he always has his Yellowstone, um, jacket on as the big emblem right here, right? Mark Wayne Mullen, in dozens of his interviews, has his ranch jacket on with it's like he's trying to be Kevin Costner from Yellowstone. And I watched it, like I said, I've done nothing but watch hundreds of hours of videos. And inside his office, he has like everybody from his family's cowboy boots on the wall, and like I mean, it is redneck like galore. But all those interviews, he is wearing his ranch logo.
How
And so
embarrassing.
it reminded me because Karen said merch. That's right. Trump is peddling his fucking merch.
A little trinket salesman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pete
Peddling his merch.
Pete Hegseth wears that little stupid flag, handkerchief. For some reason, and I know it's common, so I'm I'm not saying that I'm immune to this, but for some reason, people mistake the thing for being the thing that it represents.
Yeah.
Like these politicians at the federal level, they go,
I'm here. I'm trying to adjust something.
So these politicians, they every year, every 4 years, or even every year, they wrap themselves in a flag. Pete Hegseth wears his little flag tissue, and everybody forgets that the federal government is not the United States.
Right.
Like it's when you think of the United States, it's not the federal government, it's us. So for anyone to claim or to merch the stuff, and as you said, Karen, did you hear that Trump? That's what we should name our show. Did you hear? I always thought about that.
Okay, I'm down for it. Let's do it.
So all the podcasts that I've been on, it's always like, did you hear about this? But Trump has registered, trademarked his name because he's using it on all the 250th anniversary stuff for America.
Yep.
It's and where's Congress? Absent. It's like,
right.
And you know what I thought? I got mad at first, and I'm like, fuck it, let him do it. Like to our point earlier, it's like this the federal government is a joke, so let him have it. Let him have it.
It's a joke.
Let them have their fun. Because no one's saving us. No one's doing anything about it. And you could say, no, Chris, there are tons of people doing it. I'm sorry. No, Johnny. There are tons of people fighting, and there are. And as they should be. But not the people that we elected to fight for us.
Right. Okay, I found the little thing.
Trump is putting out he's fundraising off the war. Meanwhile, so are the Democrats.
Right. Oh, they all got to go.
If you want the same old crap, just keep on voting for the same types of people.
Right. Well, until you get money out of it, right? Big money, big religion, big pharma, big whatever.
Schumer. Hell, I would even say AOC. AOC really let me down. There was a Nancy Mace, of all people, put out legislation for a vote to release files from the House Ethics Committee of congressmen who have had inappropriate relations.
Right.
And it failed. And it failed because a lot of Democrats jumped on that bandwagon too, and mostly women. Not mostly women, I shouldn't say that. Out of the minority of women, the majority of them voted against it.
It always just makes me. Who has?
And AOC was one of them,
right?
And AOC was one of them.
So disappointing.
Yeah. Karen says the most aggravating thing is his followers, or swallowers, as I call them, have an excuse for everything he does. He never does anything wrong. Yeah, and that point too, I from the beginning of his first term, he always has to have, or there are always his minions that come out and explain what he has done. You ever notice that? Like Trump will say something
Yeah.
and then 800 million people have to explain what he meant. When we all know what he meant. But yeah, they always have an excuse. Like that doesn't mean anything. It's just, yeah. You're
Yeah, it
so right,
doesn't.
Karen.
It's just give me a joke.
In how anybody like him, I just watched Nuremberg last night, by the way. It was a dumb movie, but the message was clear. How such a small man was able to get so many people to follow him
Right.
is beyond me. Just like the Fuhrer. The guy was, ballless, coward, and yet millions followed him just because. And what did Goring say? Because he made us believe. Again, he made us believe in Germany. Yeah, you could say the same thing. All these maggots are saying that. Well, he made us believe in America again. No, America is not what those things are.
Right.
Like, you need somebody to tell you
No.
who you are. You need Trump to tell you what an American is. That's sad.
It's very sad. I don't know why it won't pop
And to
up on
find out
this
they all come
computer.
from Oklahoma is pissing me off now. Just kidding.
Pissing me off. I left. I got out. I left. I got out. That's all I can say. Sorry for everyone else who's still stuck there, but at least I got out.
But California isn't that much different. I mean, you live in LA, but LA is kind of like LA and San Francisco, I would say, are really the only
Oh, there's a lot of. I mean, I
sanctuary.
know I don't care. It's all different here. Sorry.
I mean, in Sacramento, no, it's red. If you go down to San Diego, San Bernardino, it's all red. Orange County, all red. I mean, just
Like
these
the
two
state
areas.
systems are different. The state systems, the way that there's protections for people, and that's the part I mean that's so different.
Yeah, that's true. You got a point. Good point.
So that's kind of where I am with it. But okay, I'm not gonna. And it's on my phone. I can see it there. I can't see it here. I don't know why. So
I mean,
I just guess it's
California
not
has
gonna.
produced some of the greatest conservative people that has ever served in our nation. Justice Marshall came from California. Reagan. Yeah, he was a rat bastard, but he was influential. And he would have never have put up with a war like this.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm not gonna find it, but I'll just send it to you later. That little clip is interesting. But going back, California at least has state protections. Oklahoma doesn't.
What does that mean?
Well, I
State
mean,
protections.
one, I'm looking at medical. In Oklahoma, because my ex was hurt on the job, he had one doctor for all those years, no medical comp court to make them give him care. And so, he was hypoxic, seizing, and there was no one to say you have to give him a wheelchair or you have to give him oxygen. He got those things in California immediately, not in Oklahoma.
But then California was willing to kick him out in the street, an invalid out in the street.
Yeah, but at least ways they had him to begin with. In Oklahoma, they wouldn't have had that. So I mean, there's a huge difference. I mean, and
I just don't like
so
you
when we arrived.
ragging on Oklahoma, okay?
Oh, I can make this way worse.
Uh-oh. You hear that?
I can make this way worse. By the way, Mark Wayne Mullen said in one of his town hall meetings, because someone said, you are an elected representative and we pay you. So, and he goes, wait a minute. You don't pay me anything. I've paid enough in taxes to cover my salary before I even got here and every year that I'm going to be here.
Wow, that's some balls.
Mhm. That's some balls. I'm sure they're little, but that's, whatever.
Wow.
That guy's got little dude syndrome more than, and I hate to say that. That was actually kind of sexist. I'm sorry.
I'm a little dude, so yeah, no, I agree with you. He probably drives around in a big truck. I used to as well.
He does. I'm sure he does it because he has
Yeah,
his
there you go.
whole, his whole ranch, right? The other thing is, he always bounces a pink ball.
What? A pink ball?
A pink ball, and there are hundreds of videos of him online, and he's always bouncing a ball, and he says it helps him with his like his ADD, ADHD stuff.
Yeah.
And then he shows you bouncing the ball over like the terrace inside some of the government buildings and people catching it just like a kid. Yep. Yep.
How did he even
So
make
it's
it to
a
senator?
well,
Like,
obviously you pay taxes and
but what was his
yep.
allure?
He got yes, he
Oh,
did. And that's also part of what I found, 1.6 million in PPP loans. He's super wealthy, by the way. This guy is super wealthy.
and he
Like
even
his
got more
worth
wealthier after
is that's
it bumped
right, is
up
in
during
multiple millions of
yeah.
dollars, right? And so like he's actually like really, really he's one of the wealthier members. And it's like, wow, because he, knows that stuff. And how did he get there? Well, how did Trump get there? These are
No,
the
he
people that speak to the wounds, right?
I think he came in close to I just saw a story on him because everyone's like, who is Mark Wayne Mullen? And when he came into Congress, he was rich, but now he's like threefold rich
Right.
because he does
Way, way
insider
more.
trading. Yeah, and he did insider trading, Karen says. Yes.
Let's see. So on Instagram, I watched some videos saying they didn't vote for that because there was no protection included for the victims. I think that's what they're talking about with the exposing the thing with Congress with the AOC didn't vote for it, and we're just talking about it a
Oh,
minute ago.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So because I'm just now looking at that. Sorry, I forget Instagram is here, but yeah, the protections for the victims is what she's saying on there. But for Mark Wayne Mullen, for Trump, I mean, these are men who speak to wounds, right?
Yeah.
We are, and I found some old videos and I of Trump from the first election. And and what's I'm curious to know now if people would clap and cheer for him. Because when I was editing the videos, I had to actually stop because the clapping and cheering after he would insult somebody would go on 10, 15 seconds. And
Mm-hmm.
so like remember he called Rosie O'Donnell like a fat pig and stuff. And so in one of the debates, he's Megan Kelly asked him and she said, you're known for being, no filter, straightforward, and you're known for calling women, this and this and this. And he goes, only Rosie O'Donnell. And I mean, I had to cut out like 10 seconds of video because everybody erupted in laughter and cheers. Right. And then she goes, no, not them. And then she, goes on and lists some of the other things that he's saying. And he says, I don't have time to be politically correct. America doesn't have time for politically correct. And people were just like eating it up and they were laughing and clapping and cheering. And like, but do we have time for human decency?
Nope. Same thing.
Do we have time for human decency? Right. Oh, you want to hear a funny, just we talked a little bit. I'm kind of tiptoeing a little bit back into dating. And so I had two experiences, and not quite well, the one was on the phone, but someone was from here locally, liked country music, whatever. And he was a Trump supporter. And I said, well, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's kind of a deal breaker for me. And you know what he told me? Your job is to not have an opinion on that and be cute.
That's what a Trump supporter would say.
Yeah, he was an automatic block,
Wow.
but he told me that I didn't need to worry my pretty little head
You
about
don't worry
politics,
your pretty little head.
about
Wow.
politics, and that my job was to be cute. Cute. I'm 50, by the way. I'll be 51 next week. Don't fucking call me cute. But to be cute and to not have an opinion on politics. And that one, automatic block. The other one, another automatic block said that what I could have whatever I wanted. This is the first phone call, by the way. I could have whatever I wanted. He'd give me anything I wanted, but in public, I had to be submissive, and I would want to do it because he would make sure everything I wanted was taken care of privately. And I don't think he meant sex. I think he meant like, gifts or whatever, which again is I'm not for sale, but that was it. In public, I had to be submissive and he was the one in control. But in private, I could have anything I wanted and he would totally yield to anything. So if I said it was this way, it was this way. But in public, it had to be him. And so
Yeah.
he would, drive the car, fill up the car with gas, he would order the food. And I said, I'm so sorry. Somehow we accidentally crossed lanes when we weren't supposed to. Bye.
Wow. Karen
Like,
says, I'm
okay, now I
surprised.
remember why. Oh,
Karen says that I'm surprised that's a California person saying that. That sounds like someone from Oklahoma. Yeah, you must be attracting these.
yeah. Well, his last text to me was that my Okie accent gave him a boner. And that was just like out, 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 bye. So like I'm like, this is why I went on a dating sabbatical. I remember now. I forgot. I forgot. And now I'm like, I remember.
Where is this coming from? Aren't they blue people? They're so red. No, actually, that's what I was trying to tell Inanna. Like,
Yeah, that's what Chris was trying to say a minute ago. Yeah.
California is really a conservative state. The thing
Yeah.
is that the Democrats, because they control our legislator, have made it such that they will always win. And they're going to do the same thing coming up because of Proposition 50. They're going to gerrymander to counterbalance Texas's to put more Democrats into the state. So, yeah, you got to remember, Texas used to be a Democrat state. And California was completely conservative. And if you take a look at Gavin Newsom, everyone calls him a liberal, but he's not.
Right.
Like you look at what's his name too? Biden. Biden was not a liberal in any sense. Kamala Harris, not a liberal at all. These are conservative Democrats.
Right.
And that's what I would say California is. We tend to land on the conservative. I'm conservative. And because dating in Boston would not have someone talking like this to anyone. Are you in Boston, Karen?
No, she's in Oklahoma, but but that experience,
Yeah, on the flip side, I tend to get these and I haven't dated. But if I was to look out there, yeah, I get the quite opposite kind of woman who's like totally like I don't know why I track like liberal women. It's not my thing. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either. Yeah. No, I do have a date Saturday I'm kind of excited about. So, but we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Karen just threw up. No, I'm in Oklahoma. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a little personal story. Actually, I have two personal stories that I want you to comment on along these lines.
Okay.
So, I think it was last Tuesday after our show. I went to sleep, and Karen says I'm quite liberal. But, like, what does that mean now? Like, I always say this. I never really subscribed to the whole liberal conservative thing because
Hurting.
I'm a Republican. I think I will die a Republican. More of a what do you call it?
I thought you were libertarian.
Well, I mean, I'm more libertarian. Like, let's just say that. And I was about ready to say why, but what's his name? Goldwater. I'm a Goldwater Republican. Even though he was kind of a creep, the one thing that he did say that I like was that the greatest sin you can ever do, and I believe this wholeheartedly, is to take the freedom away of anybody. Take anybody's freedom away.
Right.
And remember, Republicans used to be for abortions back when I was young in the 80s.
Right.
The Democrats were the ones that didn't want that. And then all of a sudden it flipped for some reason. Probably money. But where's my point to all this? Oh, the whole labeling. So when you say, Karen, that you're liberal, I'm for old people. See mental health. Yeah, to me, I think those are conservative ideals. Taking care of the old, taking care of your least fortunate in your society. Like one of the biggest conservative, like a leftist rule is to leave them. Is just to let them go, right? Like, because they're all about, you got to take care of, only me. A conservative principle is looking out for your fellow man, is to not take in and respect each other's freedoms, take care of your sick. Like that's what I know a conservative to be. But that's not a conservative. That's what I thought Republican was to be. I thought that was part of their platform. Because there were like conservative and liberal is an adjective. You could be a liberal Republican. You could be a conservative Republican. You could be a conservative Democrat. So yeah, I don't necessarily subscribe to any of that crap, because what does that mean today? I have more in common with so-called liberals today than I ever have in the past.
I don't have anything in common with any of them. But what were the two things you were gonna?
Oh, the other thing. Oh yeah. So I was woken up at night by this clanking, clank, and I was like, "What the hell?" And it was in my dreams. I walked to the window and I looked down on the street and I see a big ass truck, 4-door, like GMC, parked next to another car, and I thought I knew that car, and I thought they were trying to get in the car. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, they were breaking into my neighbor's car. So by the time I went to my phone and come back and take a picture of it, I think they saw me, and then they just like they took both cars and drove away. And I guess the why I'm even bringing this up is because I was ready to call my other neighbor who had a weapon, and I have a weapon, but it's not. It's more of a defensive. It's a, what do you call it? It's a taser. And I ran downstairs to use it. But
That's so cute.
When I told my next door neighbor, because I finally called him and said, "Dude, I think someone took your car." And he goes, "They did." And I was like, "Oh my God, well, I called the police already. Don't worry about it." So this was at 4:00 in the morning. So when I told him that if I had a weapon, they would be, I wouldn't, I don't think I would necessarily, how do I say this online? I don't think I would try to fatally get them. I think I would have so they heard the noise. But he said, "Well, thank God you didn't do anything because you live in a sanctuary city." He's a total Trump swallower. Because this is a sanctuary city, and they would put you in jail for doing that. And I'm thinking, no, they would not. But he kept on saying, yeah. So that's why it brought me up about what California is. There's these little pockets that are very sanctuary city. But the thing that I wanted to bring up and get your today. So for everyone who doesn't know, so I don't have a job, so I'm trying to get a job, and I've been putting out emails or resumes everywhere. So I finally got an interview at this one place. I can't say the name of it, but it is one of the biggest U.S. government contractors that produces weapons that are being used right now. And I'm like going, I said yes to the interview because I want to see how far I can go, but I'm like, should I take this job? Like, what if this is the only job I can get?
One of our first podcasts addressed this very thing.
I know you were talking about that's what I was thinking about, ICE and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I thought about, is I kind of want to see how far I can get there and then say no. Like almost like, I have the power. I made it this far at this place, and I was able to turn them down because I'm such a righteous person.
I don't know.
What do you think about that?
Honestly, okay. Let's do the questions in reverse. Start with this one, because as far as we need weapons to defend our country, That's just truth, right? Weapons can protect vulnerable people. I'm not saying they can't be misused, but that they are also used to protect vulnerable people. If we did not have weapons to protect, the United States, to protect our states, to protect our people, we would be in a lot of trouble. While most of the time weapons are used in an offensive way, they are also used in a defensive way. It is not the weapon itself that has any value, it's how it's used. Same thing with the firearm, right? The firearm can be used to protect you, your kitties, your home. It can be used in some cases to hunt for food, or it can be abused and it can hurt someone. Your vehicle is the same thing. Your vehicle can take you across town. Your vehicle can be used to hurt someone. So when we're talking about these types of things, we're talking about something that really is neutral until it comes to use. Now, I don't know that I would make the same argument for heroin.
It's the
Right.
transmission in the field.
Exactly. So,
However,
yeah.
maybe I should go on. Maybe you'll cover what I'm saying because you said you had it. Yeah, please. I'm sorry I interrupted.
So, no, you're good. But you can always interrupt. It's a two-way conversation. You're not interrupting, you're just speaking. So it is that idea that where what am I putting into this, right? My energy is putting something into this. It is a neutral thing. It's how it is used. But what if, sort of like cooking? I'm gonna use cooking as an example. But if you think about cooking, and we know that, everything holds energy, right? And you can look at Dr. Emoto's water studies and you can see just how much your thoughts, what you're speaking puts energy into the water, how much of your body is water, how much of your food. And, there have been people that have done some, loosely defined studies where they've looked at places where the people who love to prepare food serve you the food and it holds a higher frequency and your body gets more out of it than if you go to some place where the employees are maybe not treated well and they're exploited, right? Same thing,
Applebee's.
with all of it. So what if your energy into that, neutral expression is something that can actually change the outcome?
Wow. Maybe I'm collapsing the field, but I agree with you about the weapons. Okay. And I agree with everything that you said. There is, the way I can describe what I want, how my counter argument would be to that is, as a musician, I have one instrument, maybe two. And I have friends that go out and they buy tons of them, like guys, they go out and they buy, they have 20 guitars. And it's unnecessary. It's overkill. And, again, you are worshiping the thing rather than, just because you have 20 guitars doesn't make you more of a musician than anybody else, right?
Right.
It's a representation of your lack of respect for what's happening. The same thing I think about these weapons companies. We spend an enormous amount of money. If we cut our defense budget to a normal spending budget, we could solve a lot of problems here in the United States. But we don't. We choose to spend it at the company that I could be working at. You know what I mean? Creating these weapons of mass destruction that, that can be used in both ways. But they're stockpiled. They're sold to other countries, like you mentioned,
Sears
in a little
catalog.
catalog, in a Sears catalog.
Mhm.
And to me, so without getting into the background, because I know everyone will fall asleep. So I work in marketing almost all my life. I worked on the creative side. So my job was to compel people to buy a product or a service or a thing. One of them was McDonald's. The other one was Toyota's. And the other one was going to Knott's Berry Farm and other amusement parks. And I didn't like selling for McDonald's or Toyota's because they're crappy cars and it's shit food. And I did like working for amusement parks because people had fun. But I will say, but they're in it for the money too, right? And so
Right.
it came to my life where I started working at agencies that actually marketed for nonprofits, for government programs, and I liked that much better. I felt like I was using my expertise and my talent for something good for communities and for people. And so that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, what a difference going to work for this behemoth thing because I need a job. But heck, somebody told me if I went into the defense industry, I would have a job for life. That and what do you call it? Incarceration or law? No, corrections. If I went into corrections, we would have a job for life because that they will never defund those things.
I'd rather work for weapons manufacturer than corrections.
To me, they're the same thing. I know. And somehow I gotta get over it because I'm not trying to be self-righteous. You know what I mean? It's just
Well, let me give you a reframe.
I'm not working for Smith and Wesson. Now that would be cool. Or for like you know what I'm talking about? They're not being hoarded and used on people, like some
Right.
people
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
but not by billions of dollars.
right. So, there's all kinds of ways to think about. At the end of the day, when you do some kind of job like that, you're usually just trading time for money.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in a job, in many jobs, you don't really have a say whatever happens with whatever you're trading that time for money for. None of us do. I mean, you could, go work for like a company that makes food filled with red dye number 40, right? And that's going to cause a lot of damage. That even though I watched this girl I kind of liked on Facebook, like open a whole bag and just eat some, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? you know. But if you think about this job, right, and you think about what you can do, you're trading time for money, and weapons are needed, in this society, at least until we evolve, past needing that for defense, for protection, for us as people, for our country, for our state. But if you take it one step further, right, and you start looking at maybe a little more logistics of it. So when you go do this job and you have a paycheck, you then support your local economy. When you do this and you have health insurance, then you're also supporting your local medical complex, right? Your doc going to see your doctor and you're getting, and your doctor's been able to pay off their student loans, but you're able to go and buy, food, and you're able to go on a vacation, and you're able to do all of these things, maybe buy a Toyota and have some McDonald's that you couldn't otherwise do. And so when you're trading, time for money like that, it's not just about hi Tiff.
Hi,
It's not
Tiff.
just about the thing that you're making, right? It's also about what you're able to do with the money. So one of my good friends actually took a job for a Department of Defense contractor many years ago. And we had the same conversation. She was a Bernie volunteer with me. And we were you know and I said, but if you look at it only through that one lens of I'm now working for, a weapons manufacturer, you have to remember that other things are done there too, right? And it's also giving a lot of people the opportunity to have a job, to have income, to provide for, their parents, their siblings, their children, their spouses, their communities, their neighbors. So even if the thing itself isn't really what you want, there's still a whole network, like a spider web, of things that are impactful in a meaningful way. And at the end of the day, guess what? Someone's going to do that job.
See, to me, and hopefully I won't be offensive because I appreciate what you're saying.
You don't
But
really have the power to offend me. You're cool.
no, I meant that for
I'm
me.
just
Hopefully, the
teasing.
words I choose aren't offensive because that's not what's in my heart. But um, for example, when I watched Nuremberg, and to me, it's equitable to those people. Well, I was just doing what I was told. I was doing something for the country. And yeah, I equate it the same way. It's like, I think, yeah, if that one company wasn't around, then that's what billions of dollars that could be going to something else. You're right. Will it go for something else? Right. But I don't know. The argument to me of if you don't take it, someone else is going to take it. It's like, well, let them fucking deal with that. Like, to me, it's like, I don't know if I have that. I wouldn't be able to be authentic. I used to work at a car dealership and I hated it because they wanted to screw people over and I just couldn't do it.
You're using a very myopic lens here.
I understand that, and that's why I'm bringing this to you. Matter of fact, it's funny today. I was going, I want to talk to her about this because I do feel like it's very myopic, but I also feel, and I would say it's kind of self-righteous, but it's how I feel. It's like I said, I worked for a car dealership. I couldn't go to work. It made me sick. It hurt my character. It brought me down. My constitution went down.
Yeah. And
Because
I'm assuming that's very different though than what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Are you going to be selling weapons to individuals and taking
No, but I'll be
money?
helping making them.
Okay, and
It's the same thing.
it's not. I worked for child welfare. I did. I was part of a really messed up system. And we had kids that we took illegally. And we had kids that we kept illegally. And we had kids that, I mean, this is controversial and I'm just going to say it and then I'll argue the point later if anyone wants to argue it. But technically, it is part of a human trafficking system. It absolutely is.
Okay.
So I worked for that, right? And I left. But at the end of the day, my contributions had an impact on whether I was protecting children or whether I was, participating in the human trafficking side of it. But the system was going to be there no matter what. But
But again,
maybe just my presence
you're
can
talking
make a
about
difference.
something supporting your community as opposed to something that's supporting somebody's paycheck and somebody's economy.
A lot of people would disagree with that, by the way, that it is just about the paycheck and the economy. It's not really about the community.
With the working at a child protection services.
Right. Yeah. See, Tiffany agrees.
She agrees with you?
Yeah. You have to do it. I mean, I will have a private conversation with you. I'm not gonna, this is public. I'm not gonna do it here. To tell
Why?
you what that is because it's bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad. It's part of a human trafficking network.
I feel you because
State sanctified, government sanctified human trafficking network.
the whole reason why I'm not a teacher is kind of the same reason. Like, talking about schools being like an indoctrination kind of thing. That's the one thing I just could not. That's why I went to college.
Yes, but indoctrination and human trafficking are two very different things.
Well, one's grooming for that. I mean,
because we stole children and basically sold them.
Well, and teachers basically push children through who do not deserve to be pushed through, and they become like out in the streets. Look at foster children; it's the same way. They just throw them out, in the streets. They're homeless. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to what do you call it? Beat you in any kind of how bad things are. I get it. Yours is worse, but my point is, yeah, I just have it in me, and I understand it's myopic, but it's like, and I'm debating if it's authentic or not, because I just have a problem with supporting an institutions like that. I'd rather, I worked for the newspaper. Sure, it was owned by a big conglomerate. I get what you're saying, but the things that I was attributed to, and I was in marketing again. I was selling that service. I was selling independent journalism. Well, my company did not hide the truth, and I was grateful. It wasn't the Washington Post. You know what I mean? And if I worked for the Washington Post and I was told to lie about something, I think I would have to go because you're doing a disservice, and that's why. So I'm
Well,
going. I don't even have the job yet, and I'm even freaking out about it. It's
there's
just
two. I mean, again, there's very different ways to look at it. But let me say this: we're going back to child welfare and child services. Do you know how much a white baby goes for?
Oh, I can imagine.
You know how much a white blonde haired baby goes for?
Well, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's a value assigned. And we would have certain people that were very high in the community that got first dibs. Yeah. On those kids being brought in. And then certain other families would only want the kids that could have the high subsidies. And I knew lots of people who did not work that would just adopt the high risk kids and get 4 to 5, 6 grand a month per kid, you know, adopt a few of
Yeah.
them. And that's how they supported themselves.
My best friend was part of
But
that.
your white
Um,
babies, your white blonde babies go for a lot in that system. That's why ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, was added, was because it would at least make sure that First American or Native American children ended up in tribal homes because there was, they were trying to, eradicate the Indian out of them. And so it was so offensive. Today was significant for me as my last day working with children in custody. I gave 2 weeks notice and was given 48 hours. Wow. Okay. So Tiffany, we're on point for you because that's what she was, a therapist in the system. We're on point. And it's you would have a kid in custody and it was really easy to get their baby away from them and give them to those foster. I mean, I'm telling you, it's an actual human trafficking system. And, my job was to decide, where I could fit in this. But let's take this back to, you know, the job that you're talking about. When you're trading, time for money, it's not a simple equation. You're like, make it a bigger math equation. You have a degree in math. Draw it out, right? Because what can you do to make the world a better place, to live in authenticity, to do all of these things if you have the financial resources to do them?
bring down that company. In all
Yeah.
honesty, yeah, if I had the resources, I would bring down that company.
Again, we need to have a private conversation so I can understand. I'll be able to give you better advice here, I think, when I understand more. But my assumption is that you are not going to complete a weapon from conception to production to out the door.
My
My
job is going to be
perception is that you would have a tiny
my job is a
piece of this.
project manager of building weapons. So the actual job description is seeing it from beginning to the end.
But you would not be doing it.
No, but I would
You
be
would not be
managing
the
that project.
employee on the okay, but you would not be the employee doing it.
No, but I would be telling the employees about when and how to do it. I'd be It's called a producer. I would be producing weapons as a project manager. I would be I wouldn't be a creator, huh? I don't know if I
What kind
should
of
say
weapons?
anything. What if it gets out?
No, you shouldn't. We should talk privately. But this is my point. Let's have that. Let's have that privately because I think I think there's a way you can make it work. At least ways until something else happens. And it's not. I mean, I really do. I don't even think it's a hard reframe to say that it's not. That
Oh no, it's
it's
an easy
not.
reframe. Everybody does it. That's what I'm saying. I'll go work for ICE because I need that. I
No,
need that money. I mean,
that's not the reframe I'm talking about. I'm talking about we disrupt things from the inside. It's like, oh, Chick-fil-A. This is a cheesy example, but here's an example because we all love the Lord's chicken, right? I mean, it's not that big of a deal in
I
California, but in
never really
Oklahoma,
eat
it's a very
there.
big
Yeah,
deal.
I was gonna say I never really eat there.
Yeah, because of the owner's beliefs, right? Because they're very, Christian nationalists in their beliefs. They don't support, women's right to choose. They don't even support birth control. They don't support LGBTQ plus rights. Okay, but here's the thing: when I lived in Norman, Oklahoma, I officiated same-sex marriages, weddings, and I attended quite a few. Do you know how many times Chick-fil-A was the person who donated the food? Very frequently,
Yeah.
because it's actually a franchise and they're individually owned. And
Right.
so one of the locations, they're like, listen, we're already in this, we are already associated with, these people and their platform. But what we can do is we can use this to make a difference. And so they donated a fuck ton of money to causes. So they took money from a Christian nationalist setup and donated it to causes that meant something to them, from disruption from within the system.
Hmm.
And it was one of the coolest things. Here I am, all these same-sex marriage weddings and stuff, and I'm like, Chick-fil-A, who the fuck you? I mean, what is happening here, right? And then I found out that that's exactly what these particular owners of these stores did. Is they still, they were still part of the Chick-fil-A enterprise. They still served the Lord's chicken. They still primarily hired, the young women that had to wear the long skirts and couldn't cut their hair, because that was what the rules were. But yet they would take that money and they would do something good with it that made a huge difference, and they donated a ton of it to the organizations that serve teens that were kicked out of their homes for being gay, that were, like, they did so much good. And I swear to you, I probably attended 10 same-sex weddings that they donated the food for.
Mm-hmm.
See, a disruption, like, you go in the system and you disrupt it from the inside. It's what
Well,
you do with that piece of it.
to your point, if I was to go in there and actually mess things up, yeah, I would be fun. I would totally do that every day. To purposely sabotage. Yeah.
That's not at all what I said.
N- n- But what do you mean? Like
They're
you said,
not
disrupt from the inside.
poisoning the
Yes.
chicken. They're not poisoning the chicken.
Well, that would hurt other people.
Right. I'm saying they take the money and they do something opposite with it. So you get the paycheck and you donate to the cause opposite.
I know it's like Robin Hood, but I don't know. I consider
Yeah.
that to be blood money. It's like, and did these franchises? Because I know how franchises. I used to market for all thousands of them. Some of these franchise owners, they get into it for different reasons, and then they find out what's going on, and then they just kind of do what they got to do because they know the market. But they're still supporting this conglomerate that has
The
a lot
Lord's
of
chicken.
weight. The Lord's chicken, right?
Yeah, we had the Lord's chicken yesterday because it was Piper's birthday and that's what she wanted. It was her birthday. I'm not gonna tell her she can't have Lord's chicken.
Yeah. So anyway,
You know.
okay. Well, cool. Thank you. I
So,
appreciate your.
yeah. So the first problem, though, is that because I am actually licensed to conceal carry in the state of Oklahoma,
Mhm.
doesn't do me any good here because California doesn't reciprocate. But in Oklahoma, it would have been illegal. You can only defend life. You cannot defend property.
Oh,
And Oklahoma is, yes, the car. Oklahoma is a stand your ground. California is a defend your castle. You would not have had a legal standing to stop someone from stealing a car. So just FYI.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, even if I had a weapon, I don't know if I could ever. Like, I don't understand people when they do that, when they actually fatally hit somebody. Like, you could shoot them in the leg, you could shoot next to them, you could scare the hell out of them. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's
there's
very hard to hit a moving target, first of all.
right.
And so, and if your life is in danger or your family's life is in danger, I'm not really thinking about that. I'm just thinking about stopping the attack.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, that's true.
And I've never been placed in that position, but that is why I went through all of the training. Why I went through, it was several levels of training, and then I got my concealed carry permit, and for the simple reason that it was right at the start of COVID, things were going batshit crazy, and I was like, I have a duty to protect my family. There were a lot of, people breaking in, and I had actually had someone barged into the healing center when I was working. One time I was taken hostage by a woman with a knife. I mean,
Mm.
all kinds of things happen. So I just needed to know that I could protect my children. And so that's why I did it.
Yeah.
Crazy that oh, I shouldn't call her crazy. She was very unwell, the woman with the knife that took me hostage for a day. I have the craziest stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun. That was fun being, taken hostage by a woman for the day. But aside from that, you would not have had legal grounds or standings in that case. You do not have the right to defend property with a firearm. You only have the right to if in California, if you believe that you are, at imminent threat of harm or death, and it is a defend your castle state here, not a stand your ground. But even in Oklahoma, you could not have discharged your firearm in, especially with someone else's car, but any car, you do not have the right to use a firearm for property.
Hmm.
Unless, of course, you're in the car and they're coming at it with a baseball bat and they're getting through, and then that's you, not the car.
The one thing I should have done and I didn't, my car was parked 2 cars up from theirs. I thought about this later. I could have just hit my alarm.
Hit the button, yeah.
Yeah, and I did not. I was like,
Yeah.
ah.
It's why a lot of us will keep our keys by you can get the Lord's Chicken at Aldi's. Good to know.
Is Aldi's a good place?
Well,
I keep on hearing about it.
it's affordable. Well, in Oklahoma, it's very affordable. The brands are different, and there some things, and Aldi's has an aisle of shame that's really kind of famous where you can find all kinds of cool things. But poor Piper, her birthday, I had to, I kind of misbehaved and acted poorly on Avery's birthday of last year, and I feel really badly about that. And then Piper's birthday, I was so sick all week that, we didn't really get to do anything. And I didn't even think about like a cake. She's 19, right? So I didn't even think about a cake. Her boyfriend ordered her a cake. I felt so badly. And then I did order her presents, right? I mean, I did order her gifts, and one came and one didn't. But she came downstairs and she was all dressed up and in a dress and had done her hair. And like this was obvious, like this was such a big deal. And I'm not even able to lift my head out of bed. And I'm going, oh God. And that's when her boyfriend said I ordered her a cake and my mom sent her flowers, and I realized just, how much she was looking forward to her birthday, how much I was checked out because I wasn't feeling well, and there wasn't much time to pivot. So Lord's Chicken it was, you know,
Yeah, I've eaten there a
Lord's
couple
Chicken it
times. I
was.
don't see what's so good about it. You know what? Chick-fil-A used to be in shopping malls, and it was gross. And I don't get it.
Listen, you people here in California like In and Out, and that is just the
I don't like
worst.
In-N-Out.
Oh, it's terrible. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm not an In-N-Out fan either.
No, no, it's terrible. It's awful.
It's
It's awful.
yeah.
And you guys eat seafood here too. I don't even know what to tell you about that.
I
That's
don't
just
need
so
you know me, I
gross.
don't need seafood.
Yeah. No, we're Pisces because your
Right.
birthday's coming up too.
Well, I don't eat it
Yours is Saturday,
because
right?
I don't need it. Well, the same reason why I don't want to work for a weapons manufacturer is because of what fishing manufacturing has done to our oceans, is wrong. So
Right.
yeah, screw that.
Yeah. But your birthday's Saturday, right?
14th, is that Saturday? Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
My sister wants it. I'm
Well,
not.
mine's
I'm
two
not a
days after
birthday guy.
yours.
I'm not a birthday
I
guy.
think yours is Saturday, mine's Monday.
I'll be 57, and I'm not looking forward to any of this shit. I'm only entertaining it because I'm down here, and my sister wants to make a big deal out of it. Otherwise,
You should.
I just
Yeah. Well, I'll be
I
51
never
on Monday.
wanted to be born in the first place. Secondly, it just reminds me of how much older I'm getting. I told my sister at 60, let's have a birthday party at 60. That makes sense. But 57 is a knife and then turning it. You know what I mean? It's just, you're not even 60. You're
Is
not
it?
55. Yeah, it's just. Yes,
Yeah.
ingredients are
Well,
better than the big box stores, but the chicken. So you're talking about Aldi's. So Aldi's is
yeah.
it's from Germany. It's a German store or something like that. Yeah, that's like
I don't know.
their big competition is Trader Joe's
Hot.
because they have the same kind of, and Trader Joe's is a German company, I believe, as
Wait, no, I
well.
think Trader Joe's is way better than Aldi's.
Really? But
Night and day different. Yeah.
they're in competition because they're both European. They have that's why they're fighting it out to see who will be the number
A lot
one.
of the Aldi's, I mean, I don't know if it's just you have to desensitize, but some of the food just doesn't taste the same. So I've never been really big on Aldi's, but some things, sure. But some things, no. But Trader Joe's, I love Trader Joe's. The only problem is Trader Joe's doesn't do delivery.
And Aldi does.
Yeah, well, yeah, your Instacart or wherever can bring you Aldi's.
Yeah, Aldi's is German owned. It
Okay.
started in Germany in 1913. Oh boy. And in this
Nice.
file, you'll find glasses.
Now on Aldi's, you have to have a quarter for your buggy.
What? What's
You
that
guys have a
mean?
quarter for your buggy.
You have to have a quarter for your buggy.
Yeah. So, like, you have to put a quarter in this thing to release your buggy so you can shop.
Oh, actually, Aldi owns Trader Joe's now. They bought it in 1979.
That's very disappointing because I think the flavor of I love Trader Joe's. I don't like Aldi's, but except for the Isle of Shame.
I've never
Isle of
been to
Shame is
Aldi's.
kind of
I
cool.
want to go, but yeah,
Now you have to go and report back,
neither am I,
you know.
Karen. We need to go, Karen, and report
But
back.
yeah, report back, and I'll try to go to Trader Joe's soon because I do. I love their little wraps.
So Aldi's has been around before World War I even. Wow. And in this aisle, we have teeth. In this aisle, we have glasses. In this aisle,
Yep.
yeah.
You know, I mean, it's way reduced, options, right? And it's mostly store brand. So, um, if you can get, I mean, there were some things I would buy in Oklahoma that I would only go to Aldi's for, but I don't know.
Aldi's
You
is
just kind
new
of
out
got
here.
used to like certain things. Is it new out
Aldi's
here?
is, yeah, totally new. I would say within the last, what,
Oh,
5-10 years, maybe.
oh, okay. Just remember you need a quarter for your buggy.
Who carries around
You don't want to have to
quarters?
throw down. I'm serious. You need a quarter, unless it's changed. Someone can tell me, but traditionally speaking, you need a quarter for the buggy at Aldi's.
Those Germans.
And if you don't have a quarter, you're not going to get a buggy. And
Aldi's
so
produce is
Aldi's
so much
produce,
better.
yeah, it is. I will say that Aldi's produce is better. But my Amazon Fresh closed, so I'm presently
Oh,
without. Yeah,
so is mine up
you
the
know,
street.
yeah, they all closed. Some are going to reopen as Whole Foods, but I don't know what if mine is going to be one of them yet.
Wow.
But
Wonder
I
why
should
that's
have Ralph's
happening.
delivered because everyone's going to delivery, And I'm like, oh, natural grocers. Natural grocers is good, but they're expensive. They're like closer to Whole Foods.
Is that a chain, Natural Grocers?
Yeah. Yeah, natural grocers. It's just
Does Oklahoma have its
healthier.
own stores like Ralph's and
Crest. Oh my God. I miss Crest
still need a quarter in
so
Oklahoma?
much. So much. So those are people here in California that are not used to this. I mean,
It's a
Crest is kind of like a
toothpaste.
Costco. No, it's a grocery store. Um, but the Crest, like, it's the size of like a warehouse, like a Costco, but it's a grocery store. And there's like 30 aisles that go way up. And it's just like anything you could imagine is there. And it's just like that was, oh my God, I loved Crest. I miss Crest so much. It's the only thing I miss because being able to just go to Crest and find all your groceries in one place and yes, locally owned. They owned their warehousing, they own their buildings, like so their prices were always way more affordable than anywhere else. Crest was fun. I enjoyed going to Crest.
We had a whole bunch of people saying stuff. Leanna says still need a quarter in Oklahoma at Aldi's. I'm taking it.
Okay.
Michelle Modern says it's European.
Yeah, and on
It ensures your return your shopping cart. You must return your shopping cart and you must put the quarter in. It was like that in the UK.
yep.
Also, Karen says, not mine. It's got a lot on sale. Not
I don't know.
her Amazon Fresh, maybe, because mine had a lot on sale too, so they can close.
Yeah.
Karen says, I don't go to
Yeah.
Crest. It's locally owned. Crest. I hope it opens
I
as Whole
loved Crest.
Foods. Leanna says, I hope it opens as Whole Foods. I love the Olive Bar.
Yeah. She
I
does. She
love
does
Olive
like the olive
Bars.
bar. Yeah. I have one of the I have Greek pizza. The girls made me Greek pizza today, and it has the Kalamata olives with the feta cheese. Yum.
Natural
That's my favorite.
grocers. Yeah, I don't know if we have any of those out here.
I don't. I'm not seeing any of that here. I like the. There's
What?
it's when I go for my long walk, but I can't buy very much because it's too far. But Smart and
Smart and
Final Store. I
Final?
don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's just a little like it's a little store, but sometimes it has some cool stuff.
Yeah, they try to. Their competition is the big box stores. My old agency
Hmm.
does their advertising.
Oh yeah. I like well, I've actually have not been in a Ralph's at all. But that's normally where my food comes from. I just have it delivered. But there's a Gelson's near my house, crazy expensive. And
Yeah,
then there's
Gelson's. Whenever you
yeah.
check out, you need to fill out a for a financial assistance. They have a financial assistance desk right next to it. California has the stupidest stores like that. You know, like I forgot there's another one too that's people make fun of because, like I have a speaking of Olive Bar or all the Olive Bar. There's a place called Olive down the street. They had maybe 2 pounds of grapes for like $9. I was like, what? Like, and
Yeah.
people buy this stuff.
Yeah.
HEB in Texas is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
HEB was good in
Michelle.
Texas. Yeah.
They don't have HEB in Oklahoma.
No. No, we did
That's
not, but there
odd.
was one in Texas. But I've been doing meal prepping and stuff, and I bought one of those little vacuum seal things with the bag so that my
Oh yeah,
produce lasts longer. So I've been doing more of that. Because I mean groceries are so crazy. Ralph's has great plastic bags. Well, they did
not
away with
anymore.
those.
Not anymore.
They did away with those.
Yeah, not in
But
California. They got rid
they
of
did
the
away with
plastic
them.
bags.
Yep.
Leanna,
But
is she in? Leanna, are you in California?
no, that's my mom. She's in Oklahoma.
And they have a Ralph's out in Oklahoma. The same
No,
kind of
she was
Ralph's.
visiting here. No, she was visiting here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't Ralph's I took you to, Mom. It was Pavilions.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pavilions. That's
Yeah.
Vons.
Pavilions was just down
That's
the
that's
my phone's going
Albertsons.
to there's a
That's
cord.
Albertsons. That's a
Is that
huge.
Albertsons?
Yeah, that's a huge store chain conglomerate. Unpopular.
That's not
Tiffany
gonna
says
work.
unpopular might be my love for Crest in Wichita Falls, closest to me.
I love Crest. Crest is the best. But groceries here are so stupid. Like I mean, listen, I bought my cow in Oklahoma from a farmer. And I paid like $3 a pound hanging weight. So, for like $1,000, I had enough ground beef to last a full year, and that includes steaks and brisket and everything else. I mean, here you're paying $11 a pound for ground beef.
Yeah, the stores I mean up in Sacramento, they're quite different. You get better produce up there. And you
Hmm.
would never go to here in California, you would or LA, I should say, you wouldn't go to a grocery store to get meat. You would go to like I forgot what they call it. There's a farmer's it's on the tip of my tongue, or you would go to the carnicerias. That's where you get good meat. The Mexican stores.
Okay.
You got to go there
I
to
guess I
get the
need to know
good
where
meat.
those are.
Oh, throw a stone. You're in Encino.
I don't leave the house except for
Oh.
my little tree. Like I literally have my little area I walk and that's it.
Leanna says no, but remember I brought Ralph's sacks home with me and still use one to carry my extra shoes.
That's dedication.
Yep.
Yes, and California sacks are way better than Oklahoma sacks because you had to pay for them. So Oklahoma made their plastic sacks, like, I mean, so thin you would have to triple sack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I mean, you just don't have a perspective on it because here the plastic sacks that no longer exist were really, really, more like trash bags.
They
But
wanted
in
people to reuse
Oklahoma,
them.
Yeah, but in Oklahoma, they were, I mean, you could see through them. You could do this and see through them. So
Yeah.
they weren't at all, it's like, okay, you're doing this, but then we have to use 4 of them. So are we really saving anything? I
Right.
don't know,
Processing plant, she
but
asked.
what is it?
And Tiffany said, every 6 weeks when I get my hair done, I get to go to Crest. Oh, wow. I definitely miss my guy getting all the meat for me. He
Yes, he
hunted
hunted. Yeah.
absolutely the
Yeah.
most organic meat.
Mm-hmm.
Sprouts
Yep.
has great sacks, but you do have to pay 10 cents.
Notice how everyone, like, we're getting more participation on grocery stores and
I
Saks
know.
than we have
Next week,
anything
we're just going to talk
else.
about grocery stores. Sprouts is a good store. I like it, but it's also very expensive. It's a very expensive store for me, at least.
Where do you shop? I mean, in Oklahoma, Sprouts was reasonable.
Yeah, Sprouts here is like I've compared items. They're like $4 more
Oh, okay.
on
I
average
haven't shopped at one here.
for the stuff that's for the stuff. So I normally shop at Amazon Fresh or I go to Trader
Me
Joe's.
too.
But Amazon Fresh has been beating on the stuff that I buy, beating Trader Joe's out in price, but Amazon Fresh is going away. So
Yep. So Ralph's, yeah, see, in Oklahoma, Sprouts is really affordable. Like
yeah,
it's
not
just a
out here. It's
different
like
thing.
it's almost like Gelson's out here.
Oh no, 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 not even
Oh,
close. No, not even close. No, Sprouts was my friend one time called Sprouts a glorified convenience store, but it was close. It was a little more than Aldi's, but definitely less than Whole Foods, less than Trader Joe's. I mean, it was way less, so it was way more appropriately priced. And their produce was always amazing.
Well, let's put it this way. Here in California, maybe it's higher than Oklahoma because Sprouts is like, what do you call it? The place that liberals go to. So it's like the thing. You know what I mean? Like you can
I
get
thought
like
that was air arid one.
that's the other one I
Aaron
was talking
one.
about. Yeah, like heroin that everyone like I just got I just got some grapes for $35. Oh my god.
Right, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one's wild. I hear people talk. My friend Dana actually took me on a field trip. We just briefly walked through. Although I will say, I did just do a big for my birthday. I bought myself olive oil from Ojai and had it shipped.
Oh yeah.
Remember when we met? When we met, I had just gone to Ojai,
Yeah, with that
and we
guy.
were talking about things. Oh my god, so bad. And I had bought all that olive oil, right? The butter, and it's like, we're just now out of it, you know. Oh
Wow.
no, the computer just died, but we're still here. So maybe I don't know if it kicks us off. It's because the computer's dead and the streaming software died, but we'll see. But all of that olive oil is now gone, and I'm not going to go back to Ojai, so I just had a ton shipped here.
Tiffany says we all are wanting to be more healthy, and I think that is a beautiful thing. I agree.
It is, but also we're having to learn how to stretch our dollars a lot further too for food, because food is just so outrageously expensive here.
The thing is, though, and this is one thing I found out by experience, and there's science to back it up, as you probably know, that Albertsons closed in Oklahoma, so did Food Lion. Food Lion, that's what caught my attention. Food Lion.
Food
Our
Lion.
prices are.
Was that
We're
how it
not.
went?
We're not lying about our prices. I don't know. Like Food Lion, what is that? That's great. We're not lying about our grocery prices.
Food Lion was really interesting. It was only open a short period of time, but they were the first place that you could like leave your buggy at the front and then go get your
Wait,
car and drive around, and they would load it.
wait. Okay, this is Is that what they call it? A buggy? A shopping cart?
Your buggy.
Your shopping cart.
Yes, it's a buggy.
But we have a Brahms.
Oh, a Brahms. Yes, Brahms.
Hell yeah, we are. I don't know what that's in. Oh, that we're trying to eat more healthy and stretching out our dollars. Yeah, the thing I was gonna
Yeah.
say is that when you eat healthier, you actually spend less money. I have heard of Piggly Wiggly. That's another Southern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to teach a class,
Yeah.
by the way, on merchandising, and all merchandising and branding comes from the tea companies that used to be around, the East Indian tea companies, when they used to sell things in bags and stuff like that. And that's where branding comes from. They used to brand the bag so people would know that that would come from a specific thing. My point being that most of the big stores, like Kroger and all they were all receivers of those goods back in the day. That's why they're huge conglomerates now, because they're the ones that bought stuff from like the East Indian Tea Company and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's such a, grocery stores have such a rich history.
Yeah. Well, and Tiffany just explained it to you. A buggy is a shopping cart, but it's your buggy. And so you could leave your buggy there
What
and then you could drive up and they would load your groceries from the buggy into your car.
buggy? Yeah, Karen, I've never heard of a buggy shopping cart as a buggy. I guess it is a Southern thing. Okay, I'm gonna research this really quick. Where do they call a buggy a
It's a
shopping
buggy.
cart?
Come on.
Oh, it came up right away. Okay, shopping carts. I'm gonna do it with the accent. Shopping carts are commonly called buggies in the southern United States, particularly in states like South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and parts of North Carolina and Texas. This regional term is also used in parts of Appalachia, the Ohio Valley, and occasionally by older generations in other areas. It doesn't. How come they don't say Oklahoma?
I don't know, but they're incorrect because it's a buggy.
And they have a map that shows what they call it in different countries. In Britain, they call it a shopping cart. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, it's a buggy. But
Okay,
that
here
was
we
Food
oh
Lion's thing.
oh
go ahead.
here we go. Hold on, let me see if I can share. This is interesting. I just since we're getting lots of comments on the grocery thing. Let's open it. Let's open it wide open. Hold on.
Okay.
Here we go. Is it gonna click over? How come it says I can't see it? What's going on?
Well, I mean, the computer's dead, so I don't know that we have any ability to control
Oh, even on my end?
I don't know. I don't know. We've never had this happen.
Okay, let's see if I do this. Yeah, it's not letting me. Oh no, I can't get out of there. So, okay, I'll just let you know what I'm reading. I just go down this rabbit hole. So there's this site called Red Sheep, and on the top it says, what are shopping carts called in different countries? And they did a study, right? So 77% of the planet calls it a shopping cart. 14% calls it a grocery cart. 4% calls it a buggy. And
I'm glad to know I'm elite.
And less than 1% calls it a carriage.
Well, I don't call it a carriage. It's a buggy, but okay.
Oh, no, this is not the world. This is only in the United States. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a buggy.
Next week, we're going to go through the terms that are different in California than in Oklahoma.
That's right.
I mean, Oklahoma isn't that far away to be calling it like some strange thing. I don't get it. It's like
maybe it's not for
like
you to get
right there.
Right there.
Okay,
it's halfway across the country.
I'm gonna read some more things. Have you heard of Piggly? Okay, I never heard of a buggy. Tiffany said we had a tornado destroy our Piggly Wiggly in my hometown in 1979. Karen said, "Thanks, Chris." I don't know what she said. Thanks for. Tiffany said, "Love it. Go for it." They always get. That's why we gotta read these quick. You have to return your buggy at Aldi's in order to get your quarterback. Leanna says. Karen says, "I'm older than you, abs. I've never heard of a buggy." Yeah, neither have I. Of course, there is a study. Tiffany said, "I know, right? There's a study on everything." We are pretty backwards. I don't know. I don't know. You like I'm I had a perception of Oklahomans not necessarily backwards. I thought you guys were mostly farmers, but it wasn't until I met Inanna that she says how much backwards Oklahoma is, and that's what I can't get out of my mind. So I was in the play Oklahoma, so that's most of
Oh
my
my
idea.
God.
And I drove through Oklahoma.
Back asswards.
I drove through Oklahoma, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, evidently, there's at least one guy in Southern California that finds the Okie accent boner worthy. So, I mean, I'm just saying, there's
Bro
that.
farmers. What are bro
You
farmers?
know,
Like tech bro farmers? Karen says we aren't.
I'm guessing. Well, Oklahoma, while we do have a large agricultural population, mostly what you're going to find are smaller towns that are more religious. Instead of saying, who are you or, what do you do? It's what church do you attend? The Christian architecture of Oklahoma is truly its foundation. And it was never I was saying, bro, we aren't farmers, Chris. And Tiffany said I was also in the play.
I played Will Parker. I was the guy that I went to Kansas City on a Friday. By Saturday, I learned a thing or two. Everything's up to date in Kansas City. They're going about as far as they can go.
I
That
was
was
only
mine.
really in one play that I remember, and I was Slewfoot Sue.
Slewfoot Sioux.
Yeah.
Did you say that in Oklahoma? Because weren't there Sioux Indians in Oklahoma?
That's SIOUX. And this was Sue SUE.
1,000 times.
I don't know.
Yeah, Mark Wayne Mullen is a Cherokee.
Oh my God. Did you see? Sorry. Did you see where he said, I grew up Indian. I didn't know that made me special till I got here because everyone in Oklahoma's an Indian or wants to be an Indian. And I'm just going, oh.
Hey, Oklahoma City has 2 Olympic sports for 2028. Really? Was that horseshoes? What getting beef?
It's
I really want to know.
bobsled team. Bobsled team.
What are the 2 Olympic sports in Oklahoma 2028?
River rafting and softball.
Softball and canoe slalom. I guess that's the same thing.
Is river rafting?
Yeah, because where did I get my? It's not telling me. Oh, the Oklahoman. The Oklahoman said it was a softball and canoe slalom.
Yeah.
Where's the Oklahoman? Is that newspaper cover all of Oklahoma?
It's a newspaper. Yeah. Yeah. It used to be called the Daily Oklahoman. Yeah. I went on a coffee date with one of the guys that got the Olympics here to LA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I even tried to get a job at them. That would have been cool. A buddy of mine worked for the Olympics back in '88. I was in the Olympics. Did I tell you that story?
Tread carefully.
Oh no, it's not an offensive story.
Okay.
And then
tell me.
and it's 8:30. We should probably go. So
I know because I'm like going to eat my food.
Before your computer runs out. Well, it's gonna go out now.
The computer's dead.
So back in the 80s, it was 84 or 80, it was 87. I was in the Sea Scouts. And we had the Olympics here in Los Angeles, and we had archery in Long Beach, which is where I grew up, Long Beach, California, which is south of Los Angeles, for those who don't know. It's a great city, the best little city in Southern California. Anyway, so they had archery here, and archery was taking place down the street in this big old park. Well, anyway, I don't know what we would call it, my troop, my whatever, was called to
La Beach
service. I gotta leave now. Bye, Tiffany. Been up since. Yeah, love you too. And so what happened was my job, because I was in the Sea Scouts, so we had to dress up. We were dressed up in Navy uniforms and stuff like that. I was supposed to present the flag because to the host country of the archery, which was Japan. So I was supposed to give the flag, the Japanese flag, to the Japanese Prime Minister.
Okay.
So we did the ceremony. We got the flags down. We folded the flags. I walked up to a Japanese person, and the guy, I marched up there like, solemn. This is a ceremony. This is the most thing that's televised, because, and the Japanese guy that I went up to shook his head at me and went, like, you got the wrong guy. It's the other Japanese guy that was on the other side of the American guy. So I went to the wrong Japanese guy and handed him the wrong flag at the opening ceremonies of the archery contest
And
in
you
Los
recovered.
Angeles. Yeah, it was big news, but I recovered. Yes,
Glad to
I
hear it.
single-handedly took down the LA Olympics archery contest by giving the Japanese the wrong flag.
What a scandal.
Yeah.
Or a good thing the internet wasn't as broad, wide as it is now. I mean, you'd be a meme.
Oh yeah, probably somebody would have probably caught that and said, "Oh, some dumb shit maggot just gave flag, to the wrong guy."
Mm.
And they wouldn't have been wrong. Actually, I was very,
I was choking on the Topo Chico. It was like poor timing on your part. It's almost a spit take.
I was an ultra Republican back then, so yeah, they would have been close.
Yeah, I'm glad you're no longer an ultra Republican. We wouldn't be friends.
Well, actually, the thing about it is, I think I am still. I think just the world changed around me. The only reason why I wouldn't say that is because I do not believe in the Republican platform at all. But I will never be. But I will never be a Democrat. Never. Never.
Why? Scared to take a drink now. No, you're gonna say something to spit my drink out.
To your point, if I was to use transmissions in the field, if anybody came up to me and says, "I want you to become a Democrat," the first thing that I would think, I do have a lot of negative stereotypes against them. I think they are, first of all, I think they're corporate Democrats now. Secondly, I think they're too focused on factions. I used to campaign for Wesley Clark, who was a Democrat, and we were trying to get rid of George Bush Jr. And these people, all they wanted to do was talk about their own stupid little causes. We're in God. I know I'm gonna probably get killed for this. I have nothing against any of these people. I don't. Live and let live. That's what I say. But it's like, we need to focus on the LGBTQ plus. We need to focus on people that have no legs. We need to focus. It's like everybody wants their little piece of the pie. You know what I mean? And that's why the Democrats were never, what do you call it? Together. Cohesive. And then plus Democrats have been, they're just, back when I grew up, they were just like, we're talking like, well, I wasn't born until 69, but in the 60s and in the 70s, they were horrible. They were thieves. Democrats were friggin' thieves. But nowadays they're not. I mean, nowadays Democrats are trying to save this country. I still believe they're corporate mongers though. But I do believe that they do something well for the for people. Like Biden could be the worst person in the world. He could be stealing totally money behind everyone's back, and I wouldn't care because at least he's doing something for us. You know what I mean? Right. Whereas the Republicans just take from us. They're just taking from us. So
yeah, and it's like too bad.
Right. So yeah, that's why I won't do it. And one of the things that rubs me the wrong way too, and it had nothing to do with the Ku Klux Klan which were because Southern Democrats weren't really Democrats. They were just Democrat in name because they didn't want to be associated with Lincoln. But what happened in Chicago during the Democratic convention, where I forgot who his name is. He was a kingpin of Chicago of Democrats, and he was a kingmaker. Yeah, like that kind of stuff is some of the stuff that they did during the Prohibition. I know it was a long time ago, but that's the stuff I grew up on, and that's the stuff, like you said, the what do you call it, the programming
The
that I have in
programming
my head.
conditioning.
And, yeah, so yeah, that's why I don't think I could ever belong to a party that did that. I'll be independent.
Yeah.
I'll vote with them, but no, I won't become you. And
Well,
now
I mean,
I don't think I'll ever become a Republican ever again for the same
no,
reasons.
no, libertarian all the way. I mean, I can't because of Clinton and Hillary. That's, all the
I
way
never
back to
voted.
Juanita
Yeah.
Broderick, and then she destroyed every single woman who came forward, accusing her husband of sexual
Yep.
assault. She didn't just carry water for the patriarchy. She actually like set women on fire.
Yep. For
That's
the
a
power.
huge problem.
You
Do
think
you
the parties
think
will
the
change?
parties will change?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
If government and politics change after all this headaches, no, I don't. I think because it's too much power. Like power is what's running these. We've created one thing that I always hated, and I was young and I couldn't believe that people voted for this, and I was a Republican. But remember, I was like everyone freedom, right? To me, a two-party system. And when everyone started voting that primaries had to be only two parties, that wasn't freedom. We didn't have the freedom to choose who we wanted to be our elected officials. I was totally against that. So
Right.
to your point, no, I think the two parties have sewn up the system. I think they need to be taken down. I think they need to be destroyed. And I think we need to.
Because why? Collapsing.
But right now, to be
collapses
honest,
everything.
right now, like I told you, I think I'm still a conservative. My values have not changed. I have more in common with so-called liberals in my posts and stuff, because that's who I have following me, than I have with any so-called conservative Republican these days. So, and what's happening right now in the Democrats, I don't know if you heard this, but they're I forgot, they're calling them the Justice Democrats or something like that. They're against the corporate Democrats, which is Biden, which is the Chuck Schumers, that have allowed corporate America to thrive. To allow they're the same as same as the Republicans are right now, because they just allow the billionaires to exist and thrive.
Right.
So there are Democrats right now that want to bring that all down. They want to say no to AIPAC. They want to fight, and that's what Democrats have been missing. I would never. That's the other thing I was going to say. I would never be a Democrat because they're wimps. They don't fight. They always cave in, always. And now I'm seeing Eric Swalwell. These people that are actually getting up and fighting, not only in name. Like, they're not just doing it for the cameras. They're doing it to the side without any kind of glory. I forgot who it was, but not Adam Schiff, who Chris Murphy, like, he's fighting for us. and he doesn't want to be on camera, but he does his thing, and then he gets on camera. But you know what I mean? Like, there's another one person too, who's and I forget, who he is. I want to say it's Swalwell, but I think it's the other another guy. That reminds me of him. He's the other lawyer. His Congress office is next to the justice, or where immigrants are being immigration judge, where they have to go for a judge for immigration. Right. Well, he opened his door to them for sanctuary. And no one talks about it because he just did it. Like those to me are people that are fighting, and they're Democrats. And the Republicans that I know that are doing like this, the Steve Schmitz, the Jeff Conways, he's running for a seat in New York as a Democrat, which I find sad. I mean, why don't you run as a Republican and show that you're the change? You know what I mean? Right now, I think if I went up and I said I'm a Republican, and this is what it's not, I don't believe anything that these people say because I'm the true Republican. I think I would get
Right.
traction. You know. Anyway, sorry, that's a long way of
Well,
saying blah blah blah.
no, Joe Exotic. Telling you right there, Joe Exotic and Kanye.
That's who you voted for?
I actually did vote for Kanye
Yeah, I
in
remember you saying that.
2016. No, was it
So
2016? Yeah.
so what about Joe Exotic?
Exotic?
Yeah, what about
He
him?
was the Tiger King.
Right. But
He's the
what
guy
about him?
that, tortured. No, I just meant that, he ran for governor, he ran for president. I mean, he couldn't be doing worse. And let me clarify, the reason I voted for Kanye was because, one, my vote did not count in the presidential election. We have an electoral college. It is not a popular vote. Oklahoma was going to go for Trump no matter what. Didn't matter. So the only fuck you I had to play was to vote for Kanye.
Yeah, that's sad.
And I think he was only on the ballot in like 7 states, but it was the only fuck you I could do. And I did. But if it would have been a popular vote, maybe I would have done that differently. I don't know. But we do elect the president through an electoral college, which is an outdated system, which really needs to be removed. So that's the only vote I threw away. I did not throw away any other votes, but I did throw away that vote. But we watched a little bit of Tiger King over the last few days. Just, 'cause what else am I gonna do? But he ran for, Oklahoma, governor of Oklahoma. He ran for president. And, he got his campaign manager was the head of the basically like ammunition, bullets, firearms. I don't remember what they call it exactly at Walmart. And that's where he found the kid that he tormented and caused all kinds of problems for and made him his campaign manager. And the guy's like, "Well, I'm selling, you know, basically bullets at Walmart." And Joe came in and said he wanted to run for governor. And that's my dream job. I've always wanted to run the campaign.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, okay. I remember
Right. And
that.
that is exactly. And so my joke back then was everyone knows you get your campaign manager at fucking Target.
Yeah.
The second you get the campaign manager at Walmart, you're screwed. He seemed like a sweet kid. He really ended up messed up though because of that. Because he actually was in the room when Travis accidentally discharged the firearm, ending his life. Because he didn't think without the clip inside the Ruger, he did not think it would fire.
I think I remember that too.
Josh was his name. Yeah. So I mean that Josh just ended up completely severe PTSD and had all kinds of problems from it. But my joke was you never order your campaign manager from Walmart. That is a Target only deal. Or, you're gonna get Walmart quality when you really need Target quality. And I don't know what to tell you.
Is Target really quality? I used to work there. Is it really a quality store?
So again, Oklahoma, Walmart, Target, Sam's, Costco.
Wow.
And Whole Foods is way the fuck up there that no one could afford.
Yeah, I still can't afford Whole Foods.
But yeah, I mean, really and truly, yes, there was an appreciable difference then between the two. And Target's where the wealthier people shopped, and Walmart is where those that were not shopped. It was just kind of an established thing. Target rocks. I love Target. But that's kind of that was the joke.
I will say never go to Target. I used to work there early in the morning stocking shelves.
Yeah.
And then I was responsible for inventorying all the shelves that were empty and I didn't stock them, but other people stocked them because I just took the the inventory.
The inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked at Kmart very briefly.
Kmart.
Mm-hmm.
Kmart was the big competitor of Target.
Oh.
Yeah. Back in those days. Walmart wasn't around. Walmart wasn't around California back when I was young.
Yeah.
At all.
We had Walmart and we had Kmart, and that was it. We had Target.
I want to say Walmart came to California in the 90s, maybe.
Seriously?
I
guess so. Arkansas, Sam, yeah.
It totally corrupted our system.
Yeah. But Amazon took care of Walmart. You know how Walmart went in and undercut the prices and
Yeah.
everything and shoved all the mom and pop stores out, right? And initially Walmart was just like clothing and housewares and stuff, and then they started offering groceries, and they really did cause a lot of damage to the system. Well, then Amazon came in and did that to Walmart. So
Right. There's always
what will come
somebody
in and do
better.
it to Amazon? There's always a bigger fish.
Netflix did it to Blockbuster. Blockbuster did it to cable.
Yeah, well, it was the little video store I worked in called Movie Stars. I worked at a
So
video store in college called Movie Stars.
that's where I can relate to you, because I worked at a video store too. I was a video store manager at the warehouse in Los
Oh,
Angeles.
wow.
So yeah. So I used to. Did you have to face videos? Did you have to go and face them? That's what they called it.
Yep.
So we had
Yep.
to do bind face, bind face, bind face, bind face down all the aisles, so people can.
Now so our movies, our VHS and Betamax were actually kept behind a counter. So there was a little tag. And so you would go, yes, we would face them, right? And
So
then
no
you
one
would
would
pull
steal
the
them.
tag.
Yeah.
Right. You'd pull the tag, you'd bring the tag to the counter, then we would go get the movie and read it to you. But ours were all kept behind the counter.
So the warehouse was as big, if not bigger, than Blockbuster. The warehouse used to be a music store, and they used to have them everywhere. And then Blockbuster was just, a standalone store, and nobody really
Wow.
went to them. But then they beat out the warehouse. Yeah.
I miss Hastings. Did you have Hastings here?
Mm-mm.
No. Oh, fine. Hastings was kind of a cool little similar vibe, but doesn't make any sense if you
No.
don't have a Hastings. But
But
Hastings
next
were great.
show,
I mean, that was
we should
popular.
look at stores, since, like I said, that's what kind of
Let's do
got
it.
same hierarchy in PA. Oh, Target and Walmart. So to
Yeah.
answer your question, Alicia, I don't think the parties will change. But I think there is a change coming. But however, I do believe that Randy's M&M, that sounds good. I like M&Ms. I don't know what Randy's M&M is.
I don't either.
I think there's a change happening in the Democrat Party. I don't see it happening in the Republican Party, but you see it happening in the Democrats. And I hope there's a change. I wish there's a change. And but if after all of this, it just goes back to the same paradigm that we have, and if, like, for example, if they don't go after the felon and bring him up on charges, if they say we just want the country to be together, that's what I fear is going to happen, because that's the Democrat way, right? They chicken out all the time. I mean, Biden, I like Biden. I think he's one of our best presidents, but he could have had Trump, right? But they didn't. They didn't go after Trump, because they were like, well, we didn't want to cause any, we don't want to cause the problems. He's the president, and we just wanted to be not. Fuck you. Really, Biden should have never left. He should have said, I'm not leaving.
Are you crazy?
No, I'm not crazy. He should have. He should have. We know
He
what
had
Trump was.
so many significant cognitive impairments at the end.
I don't care. I would take a brain dead Biden over a Trump any day. Any day. It's long gone here in Oklahoma, but it was like Hastings or Soundtrack. I grew up here in the mid '70s.
Yeah, man, I'm just saying, Biden's cognitive decline, especially near the end, was very difficult. So I don't think he could have. But I mean, again, stop collapsing options. Let's open it up and get some decent people. Again, I just gave you Kanye and Joe Exotic.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Seriously,
over Trump,
could it be worse?
They're the same. They're all the same.
Joe Exotic's not the same. He's a special kind of crazy, but he's not the same.
No, he's unserious. He's a fool. That's yeah.
Yes.
And he's Chris, I said the same thing last weekend at Bernie's. I would have taken a dead Biden over. Yeah, right.
We
I
give up
would too.
Bernie.
Like, I don't care if Biden was up there with the auto pen and everything. I would still say he's the greatest president ever.
I want Bernie.
But Bernie's in the same position. Even, you know what I love about Bernie's is at Bernie's. What I love about Bernie is that everyone asks him all the time, you know, are you gonna run? He goes, no. He goes, I came into this because I want to work for my constituencies, and you know,
Yep.
I'm too old, and so that's what I'm going to end up doing. You know.
Do you know it was Bernie that told not John Wayne, John Wayne Mullen, Mark Wayne Mullen to sit his ass down?
Oh yeah.
It was Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
You are a U.S. senator.
Yep.
You act
You
like
are a
it.
U.S.
Sit
senator.
down. Yeah, I
You
mean, that
are
was
a
like the
U.S. senator.
greatest part of
Yeah.
it. You know, get your shit together and act like it, man. Sit your ass down. You get your butt up. You get your butt up. I would have loved to have seen that Teamster dude take him.
Oh, that would have been great. Yes, it was Bernie. Yeah.
Because I think he would have done it. I think that guy was a badass, and I think he would have taken Mark Wade Mullen.
He's in the friggin' union.
I know, don't say it. Oh, that was what I thought you were going to say.
He's a union guy. He would have jacked him up.
Oh, he would have totally jacked him up. That would have been great.
MMA fighter.
Like that guy, it's just stranger than fiction. And my daughter Avery says we're in a one-off. We're in a sideways, we're in an upside down, we're in an alternate reality. We're just waiting on someone to flip the switch and put us back in the right timeline. They are friends. How can you believe it? The Timster dude. We got some kind of award. We received 100 messages today with Restream chatting. By the way, we broke a record.
They said that?
Yeah. Restream just sent a. Yeah.
So on the show, we had nothing planned and nothing. Oh, we're just rapping. We get the most thing. Well, look at that. They literally hang out. What is wrong with them? I heard that they used to hang out. Yeah, there was a falling out. Like he said some smack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Mark Wade Mullen says, you know, I'll go in a thing and I'll fight the guy. And if he wants to have coffee, we'll have coffee. But he's like, he's not going to talk to me that way. There, you know, are consequences for this. Like, you know, he's all like the bravado, the tough guy, you don't get to insult me. You know, well, guess what, Mark Wade Mullen, you're a fucking asshole, douchebag, little man. So let's fight. Yeah.
Get your butt up. No, you get your butt up. I love that. No, you get your butt up.
Get your butt up.
And he did. Mark Wayne was his bitch.
He took off his ring.
Yeah. Suppository, they are friends.
I know that's supposed to be supposedly, but it has to be suppository by divine intervention.
Right. Suppository, they are friends. Who knows? Well, hold on.
Well,
what was that guy's
their
name?
Beef, the Team Studio, I remember, but I mean, their beef went on and on and on Twitter and stuff like for a while, and it had been going on. Now, one of the interviews I saw, they had been friendly, but they were not friends, and their beef went on many, many, many years.
Let's solve this.
But they believed that they could have coffee together and hang out together and still have their fight.
Oh, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. Who said this? Karen said, she's right. And President Sean O'Brien, who nearly fought during the November 20, blah, 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 have since reconciled and are now considered boyfriend and girlfriend. Despite their intense public altercation where Mullen challenged O'Brien to a fight, they moved past the incident and buried the hatchet. Yeah. You can find them on a corner blowing each other. Go figure.
Pretty sure that's heavy on sarcasm, but Mark Wayne said that. He said after we fight, we'll have coffee. I can be friends with people and fight them. He said that. So like it's, you know, part of that tough guy thing.
I'm so sick of that.
Yeah.
I grew up with that.
Get your butt up. You get your butt up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most common response from all the maggots that I get. Their most common response is, no, you are.
Yeah.
Get your butt up. No, you get your butt up. You're stupid. No, you are.
Yeah. Well, we know last week week before last we talked about the lady asking me how much blood I drank, how many babies I'd eaten or something. And I was like, that is like insane. So on one of my videos, this guy, you know, tried to come at me. So what I did is I copied his post and made all the grammatical error corrections for him and
I saw
reposted
that
it
one. I
because
like that.
I said, I know if you want to make sure that, you're accurately, insulting me, you need to make sure you're doing so this way. Otherwise, your words just aren't going to carry the value that you want them to.
Have you seen the creator that does that? She's
No.
she's been doing it for a while, and it's funny. She takes those comments. She has a whiteboard, and I think she's a teacher, and she just corrects their grammar.
That should be my inspiration. But no, I started doing it after that one, that one bot. I was like, well, technically it needs to be this and this and this. That's just, I was a tutor in college, and that's what I did. I corrected grammar for papers and stuff. So it just comes, second nature to sit here and point out, listen, if you really want your words to hold value, you have to speak like an intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell one quick story on that, and then we're going to end.
Okay.
So Tatum was 5. She's my oldest. Tatum is 5 years old, and yes, total grammar snob. My kids were speaking complete sentences, really early on. I really never baby talked them. I wanted them to sound intelligent. I wanted them to be intelligent. So one of my friends from high school came over, and she said something about, well, it ain't. And my little 5-year-old girl said to my friend, she said, ain't is an improper contraction. And you don't want people to think you're not a smart girl, right? And then corrected her sentence.
Wow. Yeah, I know
My
that one.
5-year-old said that to a 30-year-old woman. Yeah, so I did raise grammar snobs.
That's the most
All right.
comment I get from people, that my grammar is horrible, and it is. When I'm not writing, because I'm not thinking about it. Yeah, when I speak, it's horrible. So that's the thing that I get hit up on the most. Your grammar is horrible. I'm like, fuck you. What the fuck? You the grammar police on TikTok? Excuse me.
Well, it's okay. It's, and it is different now. But I mean, if you're going to attack somebody like that, you should at least know the difference between there, and there. And
Well,
writing.
that's stuff, but it wasn't that. Like, sometimes I mess up on like stupid things, like they are or they is. You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds
well, yeah,
stupid
because you're just in
now.
the flow. No, you're in
Yeah.
the flow with something. You don't know where the sentence is. I do that too, because I don't know exactly where my sentence is going.
Right.
Right. And so then by the time I realize it, oh, well, I used, the wrong,
Because if I was just to talk to you
verb
right
or
now about
whatever,
measles, they are a horrible disease, and you will know that measles is a horrible disease, but it doesn't make sense because it has an S, and it's like, so yeah.
Right. Well, another topic for that. But yes, when you're speaking, that's because you just don't know where you're going,
Right.
yet with what you're saying. It's just kind of flowing through you. So that makes sense. That happens to me too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're signing off. This was about all the battery I have. I promise you my eyes will be closed and I'll be asleep within 30 seconds.
Next week, our subject will be big box stores, I think, which are only 2, Sam's Club and Costco, and somewhat Smart and Final.
IKEA.
Yeah, I haven't been to IKEA in a long. Is that a big box store, or is it more to furniture?
I think it's just furniture, but I don't know.
No.
One of my friends goes there and has dinner because the window in Burbank, because the windows are great and you can
Yeah.
like see he like the food is good, and he's like, you can have this full dinner and it's a beautiful sunset and all this stuff. And I'm like, maybe I'll go do that sometime. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, that's wild. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.
And I'm the only one here. Oh, I'm the only one here because her computer died. Yeah, so I have the controls. Y'all have a good night. Yeah.